take another bite out of the James. The Georgia Southern Eagles against the upset-minded Wofford Terriers. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Net. Campus at Wofford College, we welcome you to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Fox Sports Net coverage of the Southern Conference tonight. It's the Eagles of Georgia Southern University against the Terriers of Wofford College. A very pleasant good evening, everybody. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer, great to have you with us. For years, the Southern Conference has been dominated by the Big Three, Georgia Southern and Furman and Appalachian State. And Dave, the thinking here in Spartanburg is they want the Big Three to become the Big Four.
Yeah, Georgia Southern comes in with their normal swagger. They've established their tradition, but Wofford's trying to establish theirs. And they did a little bit of that last year in Statesboro, the 14-7 win. They get another shot at the big kid on the block.
Well, Georgia Southern had its difficulties last week. They went to McNeese State, now the new #1 team in 1AA, and they were thumped pretty soundly, so they come to Spartanburg with a bit of revenge on their mind for that game in Statesboro a year ago. They've gotten the yardage so far this season, but not the productivity on the scoreboard. They need to adjust that flex bone.
They really do, and they have not taken care of the football. Chaz Williams is the key to their attack. He's the quarterback, 2002 Southern Conference Player of the Year. He has to handle the option attack, but the key maybe for him is to get Jermaine Austin, the fullback, involved. And both coaches this team of these two games feel like that may be the key. If Jermaine Austin is the man.
And Wofford will have one notable injury. J.R. McNair, their talented fullback, a no-go from the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, and they don't lose just his productivity on the field. They lose his huge leadership responsibilities. He really has something to say on both sides of the ball for this team.
The head coach of the Eagles is 45-year-old Mike Seawalk from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, now in his second season at the helm of this Eagle program. They enter the game 1 win and 1 loss. 55-year-old Mike Ayers is the head coach at Wofford. He's the school's winningest coach all time with 91 wins, his 16th season as the head coach of the Terriers. Back deep for Wofford, this is Matt Bevan, a freshman out of Lexington, Kentucky. He's back there along with Sheila Wood. And Marshall transfer Jonathan Dudley is set to kick things off for Georgia Southern. The Southern Conference opener for these two teams. There has been one league game played. Furman winning over Elon back in August. Now the league starts in earnest this weekend. A touchback in the end zone, and Wofford will bring it out to the 20-yard line. At the controls of the Wofford Wingbone is a junior quarterback. His name is Jeff Zolman. He was certainly a key player in last year's Terrier upset in Statesboro, Georgia. There's Jeff coming out of the field. He's passed for 60% accuracy so far, 9 of 15 with 2 intercepted. The rest of Zolman's numbers so far this season, 2 picks and no touchdown passes. Up front, the Terriers have 2 all-conference performers that we'll tell you about as the Terriers now begin first down and 10. And a immediate toss to Ben Munson, and he's taken out of bounds. Up front, 2 all-conference performers, Chad Dudley at left tackle and Eric Deutsch at right guard. The rest of our Carolina Ford dealer starting lineup, freshman Kevius Johnson replaces J.R. McNair at fullback. Kevius is averaging over 6 yards per carry. Second down and 9 after a gain of 1 on Wofford's initial offensive thrust of the game. And now the handoff goes to Kevius Johnson. And he is stacked up trying to get over the left side. For Georgia Southern defensively, they have all juniors up front defensively. Eric Hadley was voted preseason All-Southern Conference. They have a very solid linebacking core. The man in the middle is Derek Butler, Jr. from Orangeburg, South Carolina, the leader of that linebacking core. And seniors on the corners. Stokes is a good one. Also at safety, Young and Muhammad have 1 interception apiece. 3rd and long for the Terriers at their own 22-yard line. Wing in motion. Zolman on the option. He's going to keep it. And gets flattened at the 26. A loose football. And Wofford has recovered. So Georgia Southern's defense, Dave Archer, with a pretty good stand on 3 and out.
James Richard makes a good play here on the option. They stay on the ground on 3rd down.
trying the option on the outside. Good job of stringing it out. And then Burchett makes a big hit to stop the play short of the first down. James Young, the talented safety for Georgia Southern, made the first 2 tackles for the defense.
The punter for Wofford is Jimmy Minor. He's a great punter, but I'm wondering if they're going to kick it to Lewis Barr. Barr is a tremendous return man. He's going to catch this one at his own 32, and let's see if he can turn on the jets. 40, spun around and taken down at the 42-yard line. So great field position for Georgia Southern. Our Carolina Ford dealers starting lineups for the visitors from Statesboro, Georgia. At quarterback, the record breaker, Chaz Williams. He rushed for over 1,400 yards, a Southern Conference record, but had only 8 rushing yards against Wofford last season. The offensive line sets the tone for the flex bone that is averaging 320 yards per game rushing. And number 6, Jermaine Austin, is Williams' tag team partner in that option attack. 1st and 10. Here comes Chaz, trying to turn the corner, stumbles his way to the 40-yard line. A loss of 2 on the play. Let's check out the defense for Wofford. Injuries at the nose tackle position. They have forced Lee Basinger out from the right tackle spot to the nose. The inside linebacker, Jim Thurman, was a 2-time selection last year as the Southern Conference Freshman of the Week. And at free safety, the Terriers' top tackler, senior Matt Nelson. A loss of 2. It is 2nd down and 12 at Georgia Southern's 40. And Jermaine gets the carry over the 47. Austin's first carry of the game, takes the ball out to the 47. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5 yards to go.
He's the featured part of the attack we talked about, Bob. He's the guy that really gets things going, whether they're able to run the fullback. If they can run him successfully, then all of a sudden Chaz Williams and his ability to run the option on the edge becomes a huge factor. First play of the game, a little quarterback sweep to the left side. Ryan Steele came up and made a nice play to stop him for a 2-yard gain, or a 2-yard loss.
Last week, Georgia Southern picked up 376 yards against McNeese, but they ended up losing the game by 21 points. Turnovers a big problem. On the option, T.J. Anderson. And he is shy of that first down. It appears from here. It's going to be 4th down and about a yard. Matt Nelson, we talked about it, number 5, coming up to make that tackle.
On cue, he hit him right in the jaw with that tackle. We talked to him yesterday. We could see it in his eyes just in our pregame talks that he was ready to play yesterday afternoon. So he's excited that the kick has finally come.
It's going to be 4th down and 1. And they're going to go for it.
These two teams think short and 4th and short are something they can pick up readily. This is a big, big situation, obviously, early in the game.
Williams stopped. No first down. Gave Archer some momentum. Swings to Wofford's side.
Super stop. They flooded the 2 gaps on both sides of the center. Tried to push Chaz Williams' ability to get outside on the option and made the play in the backfield. You see the gap blitz right there by Jimmy Thrift. And then Whitney makes the play at the end of the play. Just super penetration of the Wofford defense.
The Terriers. Another option attack. And they take it back season when they're averaging 342 yards per game on the ground. They call their option the wing bone. At Georgia Southern, it's the flex bone, but they get a lot of the same look because the fullback is featured.
Yeah, a lot of similarities between the two. This time they come out in an I formation set and just run a basic I formation ISO play to the strong side.
It gets them about 4 yards, 2nd down at 6. Solomon at quarterback will throw off the option, and it is complete over the 40 out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Derek Butler made the tackle, but too late. Shield Wood, the wide receiver, was able to pull it in.
Spread out to the near side. Zolman gets good blocking out in front. Nobody around his feet. He can get over on that front foot, make a good throw, and then Wood goes up and makes the catch in traffic, comes down and gets a little extra. How about that catch in traffic? And now watch him buy a little extra yardage. Super job out there by Wood.
An 11-yard reception gives Wofford a 1st and 10 at the Georgia Southern 36. Coming around is Gabriel Jackson. And a gain to the 33-yard line. Free safety man James Young was the first man to get to him.
Another wrinkle you can use in this flex bone or wing bone type formation is misdirection. When you have a team that's as athletic as Georgia Southern, try to get those athletes flowing one way and then bring a running back the other. And they got a nice crease in there for a 2-3-yard gain.
It will be 2nd and 7. Opening quarter from Gibbs Stadium on the Wofford campus here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Mungeon, the motion man. The handoff goes to Kevius Johnson. And the freshman takes it down to about the 28. They need to get to the 26 for a 1st down.
This is a young man they're very excited about here at Wofford. Kevius Johnson getting a chance to fill in for the highly touted J.R. McNair, and he had 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago against South Carolina State.
3rd down and 3 from the 29. Zolman throws incomplete at the 19-yard line.
Again, they fake off the misdirection. Zolman gets to the outside and then throws back. And you don't want your quarterback throwing the ball back to the inside. Not as severe as it initially looked. As I looked back at it, it was more into the inside. And you can get in trouble there. You get people flowing to the outside. So, but he got the incompletion, and now they're still in a. And they talked about yesterday how they're not confident in the kicking situation. Bob, going to go for it here at the 30-yard line.
So far this year, Wofford 5 of 9 in converting 4th downs. They've got 4th and 3 here. And Zolman's going to burn a timeout. That stops things with 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter with our score, Wofford 0 and Georgia Southern 0 for Southern Conference football on Fox Sports Net right after this.
Pop quiz time. What happens to an engine with too much friction? I'll tell you, it loses power. You want to reduce friction, right, Tinkerbell? This is Quaker State. Engineered to deliver a 10% lower coefficient of friction. In other words, it's even better than before. Because too much friction, that's your little gear, it ain't. Nice haircut. Quaker State Peak Performance.
Grab a case of Quaker State Motor Oil at Advanced Auto Parts.
Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it. Time is running out to get the best deals ever on Ford Focus. Get 2% financing for 72 months or $3,000 cash back on Focus. Plus, qualified buyers get an additional $750 cash back. That's up to $3,750 cash back. But hurry, it all ends soon. Any way you want it, the way you need it.
Tonight's game is brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealers. Driving the Carolinas. By BB&T, you can tell that we want your business. And by Stedman Hawkins, keeping active people active. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer with you. On Fox Sports Net, a big 4th down for Wofford here. 4th and 3, the 6th play of this drive as they operate from the Georgia Southern 29-yard line.
Zolman checking off.
Yes, he is, with a lone setback. Option comes, and Zolman takes off. He's got a line green grass in front of him. And somersaults his way to the 3. Very reminiscent, Dave, of the play that helped Wofford win the game last year in Statesboro. Zolman took off, broke it through the seam, and went on 54 yards to get Wofford close. Similar play here.
Yeah, a little counter option from Zolman, and you see the crease open up. Good block there on Burchett, and then Zolman just gets as much as he can get before he's run out of bounds.
A 26-yard gain for the Wofford quarterback, and the Terriers in great shape. This handoff going inside, trying to get it down to the 2-yard line. As I've been impressed with the fact as Corey Dunn gets off that pile, I've been impressed with so many different looks by Wofford to start this game.
They really have. They show a lot of different formations. They come at them from different angles. They show the traditional option, a little reverse option. They had a couple of counter plays, misdirection plays, and they've even thrown the ball a couple times. So a lot of different packages from the Wofford offense.
Devious Johnson is the lone setback. Again, Zolman checking the sidelines. Changes the play. And Burns yet another timeout as the play clock was down to 1. The second timeout called by the Terriers on this drive. A timeout at Spartanburg. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Beth with more terrific news from Matrix Direct. Now we offer more choices from more life insurance companies than ever before, with some of the lowest rates anywhere. A 40-year-old man can get $100,000 coverage for only $15 a month. This is insurance you can depend on from top-quality companies like these. The call is free, the quote is free. So call now and get great coverage at a great rate from Matrix Direct.
Call 1-800-747-9554 now.
I get my Viagra with no waiting, no embarrassment, and no prior prescription. At Privacy RX, I receive a free online consultation from a licensed U.S. doctor right from my home or office.
If you'd like help with weight loss, birth control, or other common health issues, make your life easier with a medical consultation and prescription from Privacy RX.
Nothing could be easier, safer, or more private.
Get free overnight delivery and a 100-day supply of multivitamins with your first order.
Call 800-595-1289.
You're watching Fox Sports Net. The NFL returns to Fox on Sunday when the Buccaneers visit Atlanta for an NFC South showdown. Oh, the Giants take on the red-hot Redskins as two NFC East rivals collide. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern. The biggest stories are in the NFC, and the NFC is on Fox. The Wofford Terriers knocking on the Georgia Southern door. They've taken it 49 yards in 7 plays, and they have it second and goal at the 2. Wofford holding on a big fourth down day that seemed to give them a little bit of momentum. Zolman had the big break on the quarterback keeper, and now they're in pretty good shape.
And what it does when you get a turnover, and that's essentially what it is when you hold there, the turnover, you get half the field to work. Don't have to go the wrong way.
Johnson is into the end zone for a touchdown. Freshman Kevius Johnson with his 3rd touchdown this season. Quarterback Jeff Zolman leads Wofford to the game's first score.
This is just a matter of coming off the ball and hitting the other guy in the mouth and giving it to your best back and let him try to get the touchdown. This big offensive line for Wofford comes off the ball and blows Georgia Southern's athletes into the end zone. You see, the game was played on the Georgia Southern side of the football, and after got their running back in the end zone.
Nick Johnson, who had never played a football game in his life until 2 weeks ago, kicks the extra point. Tacking on one after Kevius Johnson scores to open it for Wofford in a very positive fashion. They lead Georgia Southern 7-0.
We're ready in advance, no matter when or where.
There's nothing worse than being ready to go and your car won't. So we're ready in advance. Ready with the right equipment, the right people, and the right parts. All at ready to go, low prices. And if it's your battery, we'll install it for free. So bring it on. We're ready in advance.
For the best part, people and drive, we're ready in advance. Yeah, bring it on.
I am a husband and a brother. I'm a worker and a boss. I'm the daredevil kid who scared his mother half to death. I'm the dad who worries way too much. When I walk into a bank, I don't expect them to know all this. But I do expect them to ask.
25th ranked Wofford in 1AA leads number 6 Georgia Southern 7-0 here in the first quarter. For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, catch the Southern Sports Report tonight. Sam Oliver lets us in on some NFL surprises and make or break day in the SEC. And we'll have in-depth coverage of the Georgia Tech and Clemson game tonight on the Flat. It's all coming up immediately after the game on Fox Sports Net.
That's a good show. I watch that show all the time down there. Good show.
And a good showing by this freshman, Kevius Johnson.
Yeah, Kevius Johnson pounded in it. It was Zolman that set it up. The fourth down, 26-yard run down inside the 5, and then Kevius Johnson gets credit for the touchdown. But credit Zolman, and he checked off a couple times in that series to get his team in the right play. In fact, he checked off on the fourth down play, which tells me he's watched a lot of film and is very familiar with what Georgia Southern's trying to do defensively.
The deep man is Lewis Barr for Georgia Southern. Coming to Barr at the 5. Nice thing. 25-30. Guy can run 40 and knock that about. A tremendous return up to the 49-yard line. A 44-yard return for Lewis Barr.
Well, this is the guy they were extremely sensitive about getting the football to. We mentioned this guy's name yesterday and talking to him. They kind of cringed. And look at the move he makes. And it's just a matter of good blocking downfield and then Barr using his speed. And Matt Nelson, the outstanding free safety, makes a tackle on special teams.
So the Eagles down 7, get excellent field position. 1st and 10 from the 49. And Jermaine Austin right up the middle to the 45-yard line.
For Southern is to have some success tonight, and they want to run the football. Let's make no mistake about it. They don't throw the ball very well. If they want to run the football, Jermaine Austin is going to have to be the guy that carries that load, and then a supplement to that will be Chaz Williams on the edge, because I think this defense is really geared into stopping Chaz Williams.
Jazz on the option. And the give to Kevin Davis to the 31-yard line.
There's what happens. You immediately get a little effect from the fullback, then all of a sudden the option to the outside. Kevin Davis had a huge day last week against McNeese State, had 133 yards on the ground, so we know that he can make some plays, and he does there.
Here's a look at this first down run for Davis.
Well, what happens there is Nelson, who comes up right there and misses there, ends up making the tackle. He waits just a second and gets caught.
Up the middle, Austin to the 26.
In this option style of offense, when you start trying to defend it, there are certain guys that are in charge of certain parts of the option. It may be the safeties involved for the pitch, the outside linebacker as the quarterback, and somebody inside has to take the fullback. If somebody misses their assignment or they get a block, it's problems.
3 carries, 18 yards for Austin. On the toss, Anderson. Taken down by Timmy Thrift, the inside linebacker. Timmy, a junior, out of Florida, stayed right at home to make the play.
This is the second play Thrift has made. We can't forget the play made on 4th down to stop him on the conversion situation. Here he comes up and makes a big hit right on the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 6. Williams gives, and Austin falls his way. But shy of a first down, about the 23. They need to get to the 21 for the first down. It will be 4th down for the Eagles. Now the Terriers again being asked to perhaps stop a 4th down, or will Georgia Southern try to kick one here? Sean Holland is coming into the game, and he's going to attempt a 40-yard field goal to get the Eagles on the board. So far this year, 1 for 1, hit a 36-yarder last week at McNeese. End over end, and it is no good. Holland missing out a 40-yarder, and Wofford for the second time, Dave holds it.
Well,
the 4th down, now missed field goal.
Credit the defense too, Bob, on the way they're not allowing the big play. You're not seeing big chunks of yardage by the Georgia Southern offense. It's 4, 3, 2, 6. They're making them earn every inch of yards that they're getting, and that's the key. Limit their ability to make the big play.
Take another quick peek at the field goal attempts.
Well, the way the ball was spinning when it came out, it looked like a fat sand iron. It looked like it was a little right.
Yeah, you see it before. Wofford has it 1st and 10.
I did enough fat sandwiches in my day.
This is Gabriel Jackson who made the carry. Gabriel, a sophomore, out of Delaware, Georgia, sophomore. Interesting stat for all the yardage they get. Jackson's their leading rusher for the year. He got 60 yards.
Yeah, But he makes a nice pickup here, and again, we're seeing good positive plays on first down for Wofford, staying in short situations.
2nd and 3 on this snap is quarterback Jeff Zolman. Checks, barks out the signals, and it's an inside handoff. Jeff Sullivan over the 35 to the 36, and that's a first down.
Wofford continues to mix things up on offense. We saw the eye toss on the first play of this series, and then the simple dive to the fullback to pick up the first down. They're also changing formation. That time, 2 backs, 2 receivers, and a flex tight end, which means he's away from the line of scrimmage, showing different looks to the Southern defense.
Mike Ayers, the head coach, was telling us yesterday, Dave, how they had scripted the first 30 plays, and they are running that script to a T. Wofford keeping it on the ground and up to the 40-yard line. McIntyre, number 70, in the bottom of that pile, getting up for Georgia Southern. But Mike had it all planned out, and they are executing the plan.
They really are, and they're staying with their script, and they're successful with it. The first thing that'll get you out of your scripts is when you start going 3 and out. They're not doing that. It's also setting up stuff for what they want to do in the second half. They're watching from upstairs. If they see Georgia Southern's not adjusting to some of these sets, they'll get to something later on.
On the draw, Kevius Johnson over the 50 into Georgia Southern territory for 48. Another first down for Wofford. Their 11th of the game.
And another different play. This is a draw play. They had not thrown a drop back pass yet in the game. It's just a simple draw. Shows play action, then a draw play to Kevius Johnson. And we see why they're so excited about this guy. Then he lowers his head and puts one on James Young at the end of the run.
11-yard run, I should say. 4th first down for Wofford. And the Terriers playing with a great deal of confidence. Zolman. And is taken down at the 50. It's going to be a loss of 2. James Burchett was the first man to get there. Big James out of Richmond Hill, Georgia. Had a huge game against Wofford last year with 17 tackles.
Yeah, something about Wofford brings out the best in James. He had, like you said, 17 hits last year. And he's had a couple of big hits already in this game on the quarterback.
Last year, Wofford won at Georgia Southern. And they also won a big league game in Appalachian, but did not make the 1AA playoffs despite a 6-2 Southern Conference finish. The pass is complete, but shy of the first down. It will be 3rd and about 4.
Well, I'm really impressed with what Wofford's trying to do offensively. The change of personnel, we see him coming in and out, change of formation. This time they motion the tailback into the boundary and then just throw a little 6-yard pass to him to put it in a 3rd and medium situation for him. Now they have a chance to convert here on the 43-yard line of Georgia Southern.
Zolman gives. Jeff Sullivan trying to find some room to run. Victor Cabral said no way. The Toronto Canada native.
There's where you kind of wonder whether your script kind of got in the way of you there. 3rd and about 4 or 5, and you go with the fullback up the middle on 3rd down and 4 or 5. Maybe a play where you'd like to have your quarterback on the edge, but the coaches are sticking with this script. You talked about it. They script 30 plays, which is really unheard of. I remember the 49ers used to script 15 plays or something like that. 30 plays, and they've really done well with it.
Well, the Wofford Terriers, we haven't gotten out of the first quarter, and they have used all 3 of their timeouts.
4th down in 3 situations. Again, looks like they would like to try to convert this and go for it. They converted for him last time and turned into the Zolman run, the 26-yard run that set up the touchdown. And it looks like Mike Ayers has his offense there, and they're looking at maybe going for it here.
2:09 remaining in this opening quarter. And of course, Wofford without their star fullback, and we mean a star in every sense of the word, on and off the field, J.R. McNair. Suited up, and Dave, your heart goes out to him. His final year, wants to play every second that he possibly can, but suffered an ankle injury 2 weeks ago against South Carolina State, and he hasn't been able to play effectively since.
And he's their everything. I mean, the guy's a student body president. He's in all the clubs here, but this is a heck of a ball player.
And like you at Iowa State, Phi Beta Kappa.
Yeah, at all the fraternities, certainly, anyway, yeah.
Bob Rath and Dave Archer with you from Gibbs Stadium in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And the Southern Conference on Fox Sports Net. We've got a good one brewing here. Number 25, Wofford. Leading number 6, Georgia Southern. Another big fourth down play for Zolman and Company. It's going to be a toss to Jackson. Way shy of the first down. The Eagles were ready with their lateral pursuit led by Eric White.
The linebackers are extremely active for this Georgia Southern football team, and a big play by Eric White. James Burchett has already made several plays, but Eric White makes this tackle on the pitch play. Wide pitch play, and you see White gets past the block of Chad Bentley to stop the running back short of the first down.
And you could see at the end of that play, looked like White got a cleat right up in the face, and he's slow to get to his feet. May have rolled an ankle, too. We'll check on it. Now the Eagles drop it, and Williams falls on it at the 39-yard line.
The Southern offense is just completely out of sync right now. They've had a couple plays where they got one option. Jermaine Austin has made a few runs in the middle, 5-6 yards, but nothing really going. And Chaz Williams is the leader of this offense, and it's going to be up to him to step up and make some plays. Certainly fumbling the snap and putting you in a second and long situation is not going towards those ends.
Meanwhile, head coach Mike Ayers there in the white shirt talking offense with his quarterback Zolman. Second down. And coming up is Williams to take it over the 45 to the 46.
Zolman discussing with the offensive coordinator, some of the coaches there. You see Mike Ayers is right there talking about what kind of fronts he's seeing. They're trying to make some adjustments on the sidelines. Zolman's telling them what exactly where the shades are, the defensive linemen, so they can get the proper blocking schemes and make the play next time they get the football.
3rd and 8. Georgia Southern with only 40 yards. Williams wants to pass. And it is going to be incomplete. Coming in, Chaz connecting at just 30% of his passes. When they need a pass, they have been unable to complete them this season.
And Chaz had his receiver open there. Just does not take his time to get his feet set, get around and make the throw. P.J. Cantrell was open on the sideline, a simple comeback route. Chaz just does not get him the football.
Sean Holland is the punter. The deep man is Shield Wood. Single safety at his own 16. Pretty good pressure by Wofford. Wood will take it. And will gain a couple of yards on the return out to the 28. A 37-yard punt. A 35-yard punt, rather, and a 7-yard return by Wood.
Wofford has controlled this football game so far from a mental standpoint. They've come out, stuffed the ball in the end zone. We do have a flag down on the field now, considering whether it may push Georgia Southern across for a first down. See Chaz Williams coming back out onto the field.
Head coach Mike Seawalk of the Georgia Southern Eagles. Lewis Foreman is our referee tonight.
Roughing the kicker. First down. Coach Seawalk's already gone to his rally cap. He's already gone to the reverse rally hat. I get the sense that he'd like to play. If he could play, he'd go out and play. He'd strap it up and go out and play. Done a super job with this school and team.
Yes, he has. Big shoes to fill with all the tradition. When Paul Johnson and company left him. Here is Austin. And he fights his way to the 36-yard line. Well, you talk about momentum swings, Dave, and this has got to be a huge one. Wofford thinking it's going to get the ball back instead of roughing the kicker. Turns a 4th down and getting the ball into a 1st and 10 for Georgia Southern.
And what you do as a defense from series to series, you hope to stop a high-powered offense like this. You make the stop, then all of a sudden you're thrown back out on the field. Very difficult to adjust mentally to that.
Final seconds of the opening quarter. Williams on the toss. Gives it to Davis. Davis 10, 5, touchdown. The Georgia Southern Eagles get the score with just 4.5 seconds to go in the opening quarter. And Kevin Davis, who you mentioned, Dave, really opened some eyes last week at McNeese with a huge run here.
Kept a good solid run on the first play of this series after the penalty to Austin, and now Chaz Williams with a solid pitch to Kevin Davis, and Davis takes it 36 yards for the touchdown. Watch him ride the fullback. We won't get to see it. Maybe we come back to it. Rides the fullback and pitches to Davis for the long touchdown run. That's the second time they've been able to run the option to that side and have some success.
And the extra point kick by Sean Holland is good. And this game is tied at 7. A 36-yard touchdown run by junior Kevin Davis.
There's a simple ride of the fullback. He pulls it and then gets the option. You see Nelson gets caught inside. Nelson's responsibility is the pitch man. He got caught inside the block of the offensive lineman, and Davis got to the outside for the touchdown.
A 5-play, 59-yard drive ends up in this Davis touchdown.
And we talked about the responsibilities of what you have to do against the option. The inside line has to take care of the fullback. That's done. Now the quarterback's taken. You see, they tackle Austin. Austin doesn't have the football. There goes Davis down the sidelines. And Matt Nelson, from the replays we saw, was responsible for the pitch there, and was unable to get there.
The game is tied at 7.
And that's how quickly Georgia Southern can touch you. They have so many athletes. You grind and grind and grind. And you touched on the fact that how do you adjust? You get the penalty after the punt. You thought you stopped, and then emotionally you're thrown right back out on the field as a defense, and you're a little bit reeling. And also here comes Austin for 6, and Davis goes around the corner for 36. And that's how quickly Georgia Southern can touch it.
The Eagles getting even with 4.5 seconds remaining in this first quarter, and now Georgia Southern will kick off to Wofford. Jonathan Dudley is set to kick it away for the visitors from Statesboro, Georgia. And Shield Wood, one of the 2 deep men for Wofford. It will be returned. 7. Stop at the 16. And that will be the end of the opening quarter. The Southern Conference opener for these 2 teams. And a dandy in Spartanburg so far. A lot on the line, revenge for Georgia Southern, and we've had some big hits early. Wofford drew first blood, but Georgia Southern is tied. We're 7-7 at the end of 1.
The ultimate fantasy football show. We know who to start. We know who to sit. Who's a stud and who's a dud. We know the hidden gems. We know what you don't. Weekends on Fox Sports Net.
Tonight on your Southern Sports Report, it's a big weekend for college football in the Southeast with showdowns like Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia LSU. The SEC is in the spotlight, and we've got all the big plays on your Southern Sports Report tonight after the game.
Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it.
Ford's authorized clearance is almost over. Get 0% for 72 months or $3,500 cash back on Explorer and Expedition. 0% financing can save you up to $14,152 in total finance charges. But hurry, Ford's authorized clearance ends soon.
Any way you want it, the way you need it.
It's not just champion athletes leading the way in sports today. It's the unseen champions behind the sports who are leading the way. At the Stedman Hawkins Sports Medicine Foundation, we work hard to deliver research outcomes that will improve quality of life. Research in sports medicine, rehabilitation, wellness, nutrition, injury prevention, healing, and arthritis. Stedman Hawkins, dedicated to keeping athletes and people of all ages physically active through research and education.
College football on Fox Sports Net. And tonight we feature the Southern Conference.
And they definitely aren't scared. Because they came out blowing and going in the first quarter.
Now the Terriers with the football as we start period 2. 7-7. Wofford and Georgia Southern first and 10 for the Terriers. And Zolman blocks the pass. Flushed out, gets away. Can he turn it into some yards? Here come the white shirts, and a big hit on Zolman. Derek Butler, man, what a hit. The leading tackler on this Georgia Southern defense with 16 made that hit. Let's bring you up to date with what's happening in the league tonight. Appalachian gets its first win. Boy, they struggled at home with Morehead State today, but they did get the win. Elon knocks off East Tennessee State. Nice comeback for the Phoenix. They've won 2 straight. Western Carolina over the Citadel and Tumbleweed 28-21. Gardner-Webb up on UTC at the half, 20-0. And a big one over in Greenville tonight with Furman. We'll keep you up to date on that score as well. So stay with us here on Fox Sports Net. Coming around to get this carry is Jackson. And he'll take it over the 20 to the 23. Into Jackson, a sophomore, averaging just over 3 yards per carry.
Another try by Wofford, and it was very successful to change direction. You got such great athletes. We saw Butler make the play on Zolman on the scramble in the first play of the series. Here they come with a little reverse. James Young comes out of the secondary, clear across the field to make the hit.
Wofford tonight 0 for 3 on third down conversions. They are 3rd and 4 right here. Zolman coming near side. Looking. Going for the 6. Stretches out to the 25. Nose of the football. Maybe to the 26. They may have to measure. Zolman arguing for the spot. He knew, Dave, that he had to stretch it out to get this first down.
He had an idea where he needed to be. He's looking for a throw, a short throw. Now he realizes, I've got to make the play. Probably had his feet come out of bounds a couple of yards before the first down, but super effort by the quarterback.
And it will be a 4th and 2. Jimmy Meyer, the punter. We've seen the speed of this man, Lewis Barr, deep for Georgia Southern on the kick return. Let's see what he can do on this punt return. Barr's going to let it bounce. Now Barr picks it up. And out of bounds at the 30. What a daring do by Mr. Barr.
Dangerous, very dangerous.
A 46-yard punt.
I'm sure that Coach Seawack will have a discussion with Mr. Barr either tonight or when they watch the films this week on that one. That one's can get away from you quick. And all of a sudden, this momentum that suddenly Georgia Southern has. We had the penalty on the block punt and 2 plays and a touchdown. Georgia Southern gets the stop now here in the first series of the second quarter, and now they seem to have the momentum going.
Jermaine Austin brought down by Ben Whitney.
Boy, the Southern team just wants to keep coming off and banging on you, Austin, that's his 6th carry now, hitting it up in there against this Wofford defense. He's got 30 yards in the game, and he is, we talked about in the opening, he's the guy that they really want to run everything off of.
I want to ask you about defending this option attack. Let's see what Georgia Southern comes up with here. 2nd down. And they go to Davis. He's tripped up at the 39-yard line. Dave, how difficult is it for defense when you're facing an offense like Georgia Southern to stay disciplined in your role time after time after time?
It's really difficult, and we've seen it already break down a couple times for Wofford. It's like being tortured. It's like the water dripping on your forehead. Eventually, it drives you crazy, and that's what this offense does. It eventually drives you crazy on defense.
And I would think as a defensive back, you've really got to be careful, because if you keep creeping up time after time, that's when they can pop a pass over your head. But when you got a running back like this man, Jermaine Austin, look at it go. Breaking tackle after tackle, gets to the 48.
And he ran through a good one, ran right through Nelson, about 10 yards downfield.
13-yard gain. It's a battering ram, 5'8" and 198 pounds.
Had 140 yards last week against McNeese State. Now watch the big hit he delivers to Nelson right here. And right on, keeps right on chugging.
43 yards on 7 carries for Jermaine Austin. 1st and 10, Georgia Southern. Sauce. Spinning to the outside, T.J. Anderson. He gets it back to the line of scrimmage. Georgia Southern is going after an unprecedented 7th consecutive Southern Conference championship. Since they reinstituted football in the 80s, Georgia Southern has won 6 national championships. This is a staggering statistic. The men of Mike Seawalk, they have not lost to the same team since 1997. Appalachian beat them in 96, beat them in 97. They have avenged every defeat since, playoffs or regular season. Jazz back, pressured, and he's going to take the sack. Back at the 47-yard line. Teddy Whitaker coming up from his outside linebacker spot, his third sack of the season.
Well, Whitaker had an outstanding game 2 weeks ago against South Carolina State, had 7 tackles and a couple of sacks. Here he shows his athleticism. We've been talking about the Southern linebackers. Here's one of Wofford's linebackers. He's a good one. Teddy Whitaker makes the play on the 2002 Southern Conference Player of the Year, Chaz Williams.
Now, 3rd and 15. Jazz back to pass. Looking, and over the middle, and it's going to be complete after it was nearly intercepted by the middle linebacker Thrift. P.J. Cantrell maintained his concentration, and oh, look what I found at the 40-yard line. But is it enough for a first down?
I think he's going to be just shy on the play, Bob. It's unbelievable this ball isn't picked off. It's literally thrown right to Thrift, the linebacker, but he cannot hang on. And credit the athleticism of Cantrell to come down with it and put it in a manageable situation now. This is kind of what they like here. Georgia Southern going to go for it here on 4th down.
4th down, and 2 yards to go. And Georgia Southern is going to burn a timeout here. They use their first of 3 first-half timeouts. The Eagles will chat, and we'll step aside with our score 7-7 in Spartanburg.
It's the final days of Ford's authorized clearance. Get 0% plus a cash bonus of up to $1,500. That's a $1,500 bonus on Windstar, $1,000 on Taurus and Ranger. 0% or up to $4,500 cash back, plus $750 military appreciation cash for qualified customers, totaling up to $5,250. But hurry, the 2003 Ford authorized clearance and these incredible offers end soon.
These little guys come in here nervous, sometimes hurt. Can't tell you what's wrong, but it's my job to earn their trust and let them know that I'd be okay. When I walk into a bank, I'm looking for the same thing. I want them to earn my trust.
7-7 our score. Second quarter, Georgia Southern using a timeout. First, let's get you up to date with the NFL, the undisputed champs of the pregame show. Maybe Terry, Howie, and Jimmy analyze the Redskins' hot start and break down whether or not they have what it takes to keep it up this season. It's all coming up. The NFL Sunday pregame show, 12 noon Eastern, only on Fox. Georgia Southern trying to convert a 4th down and 2 here. They have failed on 1 4th down attempt. The give is to Austin. He keeps stretching. It's just going to depend on the spot.
It's very close to Bob. I'm going to say he's got it. About that quick call.
The eagle eye of Dave Archer.
I think he's straight. A little stretch from Austin right at the end of the run. Was laying on one of his offensive linemen, stretched out, and they gave him that little extra foot or so, and that's going to get him the first down.
The stretch of the change, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and the people don't realize that how far we are from the field. I mean, that was a pretty good call. No, we're right on top of the action here at this beautiful stadium here, Gibbs Stadium here at Spartanburg, South Carolina, on the campus of Wofford College. Beautiful place.
It is a tremendous facility. This is a school that has an enrollment of just over 1,100. And fantastic facilities. Spring training camp for the Carolina Panthers. Williams over the 30 to the 26, and a good run.
This is one of those chances when you're an option-type offense, as Georgia Southern is. They run, they run, they run. Here, Austin gets the fake, and now we're going to take our shot at you. We're going to try to throw the ball downfield. Great decision by Chaz Williams to pull it down. He realizes my best option is to run with the football. If he's able to stay on his feet there, he gets in the end zone.
12-yard gain. First down at 10. Austin over the 20, down to the 18. Matt Nelson with the tackle, but not before another big game by Austin. This is a kid who, Dave, is a sophomore. He's played coming into this game tonight 16 career games. 9 times he's rushed for over 100 yards.
Well, he's such a tough back on once contact comes. He gets that extra 2 or 3 yards.
Williams on the toss. T.J. Anderson 10. 5. Touchdown. Georgia 7 takes the lead. A 19-yard gain. Wonderful block up front to spring it loose.
Well, the option has begun to give him problems because Austin has given Wofford problems on the inside. The fake to Austin, and then Anderson's going to come around the end. There's take the quarterback. Now watch the block from Albert Turner right there. The block from Albert Turner, 73 down the field. That's a big offensive lineman, 270-pounder down the field, springing his back for the touchdown.
And the kick is good. Georgia Southern takes the lead. 14-7 at Wofford with 8 minutes and 19 seconds left in the second quarter. On the option, T.J. Anderson turns, and he is gone. The Eagles in front.
Why are they calling the War on October 4 the pay-per-view card of the year? Because these guys won't back down. They won't back up. They won't back off. Finally, a heavyweight fight that lives up to the hype. Holyfield Tony, the War on October 4, plus Joel Casamayor versus Diego Corrales, and more Saturday, October 4th, live on pay-per-view.
Cody Banks is a normal teenager. With one big exception.
I'm a junior secret agent working for the CIA.
Yeah, right.
Breaking news.
This mission depends on you.
Hillary Duff.
You're different.
Agent Cody Banks.
So you're okay? Oh my God, man, you are so grounded.
You're watching Fox Sports Now.
Georgia Southern 14, Wofford 7 in the second quarter. This week's TIAA Prep Student Athlete of the Week is Eve Van Harpen. Eve is a member of the Wofford women's soccer team, a 3.53 GPA in biology. She is from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. For more information on the TIAA Prep Academic Awards Program, go to SoConSports.com. It is a little pricey here at Wofford. $27,000 for one full year. Of course, Fox would free of charge, but seeing their team repeat, they got their work cut out for them. That roughing the kicker penalty on the punt was a big momentum changer.
Yeah, I think it all stems back to that play. It stopped, Wofford had stopped Georgia Southern. Southern was struggling offensively. Chaz Williams had dropped a snap. They were second and long, got stuffed again, and then all of a sudden the roughing the punter call. 2 plays later, Davis goes 36 for a touchdown.
Wofford in his last 2 drives failing to convert a 4th down, yielding the football, then a punt. How important is it now to put something together on this drive?
Well, it's very important not only just for their offense, it's for the psyche of their whole team, and for their defense, the rest. Defense has been on the field significant over the last 10 minutes.
Trey Rogers comes in at quarterback. Keeps it. Finds a hole and weaves his way to the 25. Trey Rogers, a junior from Dorman High in Spartanburg.
And this is not a reflection on how Zolman's playing. What it is a change-up. Somebody else sees things a little bit differently. He might run things a little bit differently. He might check to something differently along the line of scrimmage and give you a little bit of a spark.
We mentioned that Eric White, the weak side linebacker for Georgia Southern, had been injured earlier in the game. He's out, in fact, and John Mooring has come in at that linebacking post. Now penalty flag.
And this is another thing you get. All of a sudden, now you have a different count. You got a different quarterback. Now his voice sounds a little different than Zolman's voice does. Your offensive line is already antsy. They're wanting to come off the ball and hit the guy and throw him in the mouth. And now a little sound that sounds a little bit like go, and you get the false start call. And now, instead of it being second and medium, which was 5 yards, now you're second and long, second and 10.
Second penalty against Wofford. That first one we talked about, that Broken the kicker on the punt. And after that, Kevin Davis took it in from 36 yards away. Georgia Southern tied the game. Now T.J. Anderson's touchdown has put them in front. 2nd and 10 for the Terriers. This one is going to be taken out of bounds. A toss that went awry.
Well, he checked the option play weak side. When they went motion across the formation, Georgia Southern's defense slid to the strength. They went option weak side, and the pitch was it. So here's the option weak side. Good fake there, gets outside, but then he wants to get it to his back on the edge right now because he realizes the linebacker's pinched to the inside. The pitch was just unaccurate.
Things breaking down for Mike Ayers and company. 0 for 4 on 3rd downs tonight. Rogers cranks, throws, and this is incomplete. Threw it into a crowd.
Well, you can bet on the fact that it's going to be difficult to convert on 3rd down if you're 3rd down and 12. This was not what they were doing in the first quarter. If you remember, we get back to it, they were getting 3, 4, 5 yards on plays, and they were keeping themselves in manageable situations. When you're a featured running attack and you have to be a 3rd and 13, 3rd and 12, very difficult to convert. They only convert on 34% of the 3rd downs anyway, so 3rd and 13 is very difficult.
Jimmy Minor is the punter. Lewis Barr, the deep man, with speed, as we've seen tonight. High snap control. This one angling out of bounds, and we'll see where the officials mark it across the line. Still walking. And at the 45-yard line of Wofford, just a 25-yard punt. And Minor, of course, there's a penalty flag on the play. Minor is such a wonderful punter. And the penalty will go against Georgia Southern, but still going to be 4th down.
Well, what it does is it gives them a chance to punt the ball again because Minor, maybe one of his worst punts of the season, only a 25-yard kick. He's trying to keep the ball away from Barr, but you know, kicking the ball out of bounds, you're also sacrificing some yardage on your punt. I think what they'd like to do is have him punt the ball somewhere between the numbers and the sideline, pin Barr to the sideline, and then try to come and rally and make the play. Cut the field down for him. They don't want to kick it right down the middle of the field to him because we've already seen what he can do on a kickoff return.
He's had a little difficulty as Barr handling some of the punts and kickoffs this season, but when he can secure it cleanly.
On the receiving team, 10-yard foul, post-scrimmage kick enforcement, 1st down.
So it ends up being a 35-yard kick or a 15-yard penalty. Maybe it's a 15-yard penalty. It becomes a 40-yard kick and a 25-yard kick and then the 15-yard penalty. So essentially ends up like it would have been a 40-yard punt for him. And it moves it back to the 40-yard line? 45-yard line.
Just had an update on Eric White, the Georgia Southern linebacker, a hamstring strain, and he is out for the rest of the game.
But he was playing really well, too, when he went down, made the big hit on the sideline, and really strained the hamstring on the big hit.
Nonetheless, excellent field position for Georgia Southern as Chaz Williams goes to work, throws on 1st down, and this one is going to be caught at the 40-yard line. Switching to the 38-yard line is Teddy Kraft. 17-yard pickup.
Wofford's begun to hug the line of scrimmage and try to take away the run. The Southern coaches see that and they make a throw, and credit Kraft. That ball's going way too far inside, but Kraft came to the football and made the play. That's a nice play by Teddy Kraft. When they watch the films come tomorrow, Chaz Williams will be patting Kraft on the back because he saved the interception there.
Chaz gives to Austin. And Jermaine to the 35-yard line. Eddie Whitaker the tackle.
When Georgia Southern throws the football, all they're doing is trying to loosen the defense. They don't want to feature the throwing attack. As we've seen, Chaz is a little bit off on his accuracy. He has a great arm. His accuracy is just a little off. This is what they want to do. They want to feature Austin and the option.
And penalty flag. Movement up front for the Eagles.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Chad Moats, the guilty party.
This is a key sequence for both teams, and the fact for Georgia Southern, if they could punch one across here, now it's a 21-7 hole for Wofford to try to climb out of it. On the other side, if Wofford can make a stop, maybe they can get the momentum back and try to get some more field position for their offense.
On 2nd and 12, Williams on the toss to Wofford. Breaks a tackle. 35, still going. Wonderful runner, Jermaine Austin. 5:50 and counting, second quarter. We're at Gibbs Stadium on the Wofford College campus. Top 25 matchup in 1AA, the Southern Conference opener for these two teams. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer with you. And it is 14-7. Georgia Southern in front. Austin has carried the ball 11 times for 62 yards. Brandon Andrews is the lone setback. The toss goes to T.J. Anderson. To the 30. It will be 4th and a yard and a half.
Good play out there by Craig Thomas to stop him short of the first down on the option pitch. And now obviously this is a situation where Southern loves to go for it. They seem to have a command of the line of scrimmage right now. It wouldn't surprise me a bit to see Coach Uack go here.
It was about the last 5 minutes of that first quarter. You could tell that line surge for Georgia Southern starting to pick up.
Yeah, they're really starting to play the game on the Wofford side of the line of scrimmage. And as a team that likes to run the football, that's your goal in any game.
Now Chaz wants to take a timeout. Second timeout used by Georgia Southern this half. They have one remaining. 4:34 left in the period. 14-7 leaders over Wofford.
Hi, I'm Paul James, the gardener guy at HGTV's Gardening by the Yard. Do you want a great-looking lawn? One that'll make your friends and neighbors turn green with envy? Well, of course you do. That's why you should choose Pennington grass seed. After all, it's the only seed that's Pen-coated to help the grass grow stronger, resist pests and diseases, and develop a healthier root system. So the next time you're in the market for grass seed, do what I did. Choose Pennington seed. And look for the entire family of Pennington products at Lowe's and other fine lawn and garden retailers.
Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it. Ford's authorized clearance is almost over. Get 0% for 72 months or $3,500 cash back on Explorer and Expedition. 0% financing can save you up to $14,152 in total finance charges. But hurry, Ford's authorized clearance ends soon. Any way you want it, the way you need it.
Georgia Southern 14, Wofford 7, second quarter for extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews. Catch the Southern Sports Report coming up right after our game. Pam Oliver lets us in on some NFL surprises. It was make or break day for some top teams in the SEC and in-depth coverage of the Georgia Tech Clemson game tonight in Atlanta. That's all coming up right after the game on Fox Sports Net. So after using a timeout, Georgia Southern looking at this 4th down and 2. Chaz will toss it to T.J. Anderson, and he's got the first down at the 25. Anderson showing good speed to the outside tonight. Junior from Lithonia, Georgia.
There's so many weapons on this Georgia Southern offense. They give you Kevin Davis, a steady diet of that early in the game.
Now the ball came loose. Wofford. The officials first indicated first down. Then they huddled.
Craig Thomas comes out there with the ball.
And Wofford's going to get it. Boy, it looked from here, that play had long since been dead. Let's see if we can see that ball pop out, Dave.
TJ hits it up in there, and a good head-on-head stick right there, and then watch.
There it is.
Ooh, awful close. And then Thomas ends up falling out on the ball. See if the shoulder hits the ground. Nope, ball comes out. Good call by the officials.
So a fumble. Stymies Georgia Southern, and that has been their story. Incomplete pass on the near side. Georgia Southern has really struggled, Dave, with their turnovers. They came into the game -7 in giveaway takeaways.
And that's what Wofford did so well against South Carolina State a couple of weeks ago, forcing 7 fumbles, and ended up getting 6 of them. A big play by their defense to try to give their offense a chance to get jump-started back into this game. Not a good start when you drop a pass on first down for your quarterback, though.
Wofford does not have a timeout at its disposal if they can put a nice drive together here. Late in the second quarter in Spartanburg. Quarterback keeper Rogers on the option. Takes it himself. Close to a first down. 9-yard pickup.
Trey Rogers running the option play to the weak side. Good solid fake to the fullback. Reads it. Now steps around. Nobody's there for the quarterback. Young has to come up and make the play. Rogers made a nice throw on first down. The ball was dropped. He picks up his team with a nice run to put it in a 3rd and short situation.
0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. Terriers work out of the gun. Quarterback keeps it, and Rogers runs it for the first down up to the 38. We're seeing 2 really good running teams. And Dave, I have to ask you, you were such a great passer in college at Iowa State, long time in the NFL, long time in Canada, the CFL playing. One of your great regrets in life is the fact that you didn't have a chance to run the option and just run all over the place.
Yeah, I would have loved to be able to pull it down like one of these guys and go 60 for a touchdown. I didn't have those kind of skills.
You would have been such a great option quarterback. Now he just wanted to throw it all day. Speaking of throwing the football, completed pass out to the 41-yard line. Nice throw, strong throw on the run by Rogers. And the reception made by Steele Wood, a 20-yard gain.
Boy, you hit it right on the head. This is a very strong throw. Just a roll left. Watch him square his shoulders right there. See him square his shoulders and get downhill with his body. He can get over the top of that front foot, make a nice solid throw to Wood. And now Wofford's got something going offensively.
3 minutes, 15 seconds remaining, quarter number 2. Trey Rogers quarterbacking his 2nd series tonight and looking good. Keeps it, runs it, and runs into trouble. John Mooring, the weak side linebacker, the first man to get there, and we mentioned he's the 2nd-team linebacker. He'll play extensively in this game now as he is in for the injured Eric White.
This is a play where they want to he rides the fullback, and he's just going to follow him into the hole. Mooring stays home and makes a solid hit just 1 yard downfield.
2nd down and 9 at the Georgia Southern 39-yard line. 14-7 Eagles, and on the end around. And another tremendous hit by Mooring. Man, is this kid made 2 great plays back to back.
That was even more impressive than the last one right there. He played off a block, and now he's got a speedster out in the flat. He makes a super play. But he play off the block. He keeps his contained point, plays off the block, and now this is a guy out in space with a running back that's supposed to win those situations. Not this time. Mooring puts him right on his back.
3rd and 10. Mooring out of Naples, Florida. Fake option pitch. Coming near side and knocked out of bounds. Out of the game, Gabriel Jackson. That, by going out of bounds, stops the clock with 1:48 left in the half. It will be 4th down, and let's call it a yard. Wofford, of course, will go for it. They are 1 for 2 on 4th down. We say, of course, because regardless of field position, they opt to go for it more times than not on 4th down. 4th and 1 without a timeout, down 7. Rogers keeps it. Well, this kid has changed the flavor of the Wofford offense.
He really has. And you see, and that's what happens with the quarterback. When we got a late penalty flag here now, maybe a taunting call or something after the run. A lot of jawing going on between the 2 teams. But you hit it right on the head. Rogers has come in and seen things a little differently, and credit him there. He saw a little crease. He knew he needed a yard, and he hit it up in there and turned it into a nice 6-yard pickup.
Let's see if he gets negated.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike on the offense, 15-yard penalty. What's that?
Well, the play stands, but the penalty yardage backs him up.
I remember several coaches telling me in my playing days and everybody that I played with that no one's worth a 15-yard penalty. And these yards they're so hard to come by. You see both these teams battling for yards. You see, we're talking about a 4th and 1 play where you're hitting it up in there, and then you lose 15 because of a silly penalty because you can't keep yourself focused on the game. And all this is a lack of focus. Suddenly you want to flip the ball on a player after you've made a run. I know no room for that in the game. And what you've done is you hurt your team. You put your team in a bad situation. Let's see if Wofford now can overcome the penalty and get back into scoring range. Only 1:41 left here in the first half.
And the other factor to consider, too, for Wofford, they really don't have a place kicker they trust to kick a field goal. They've got a untested freshman in that role. Johnson up the middle. Devious tackled by Derek Butler to the 37. Wofford can't stop the clock. They burned all 3 of their first half timeouts in the opening quarter. Georgia Southern has 1 timeout and its disposal. We have, let's see, 2nd down and 7. And Trey Rogers will work out of the gun. Rogers throws it away. Intended for Jackson on the near side. That stops it with 52.7 seconds left.
They go to a spread package to try to get several people out into the route. Georgia Southern's having a tough time adjusting and lining up properly. There were a couple of receivers ran open on the play, but Rogers did not see them on that particular throw. Now 3rd and 7 here from the Southern 37-yard line.
The 11th play of the drive coming. Rogers looks for a hole and finds it. Brody, he's outside of the 25, gets the block. Trying to get outside and get out of bounds. Stopping the clock with 44.5. Boy, I like the way this kid runs the ball.
He really has. 3 things happened on that play. He saw the crease and hit it up in there, and then at the end of the run, I want you to watch the quarterback draw, 2 good blocks there. He hits. Now watch him cut the sideline. Watch Wood not block the man in the back. He does not clip the player, and then, of course, Rogers gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
44.5 seconds left before halftime. 14-7, Georgia Southern. Off to the outside, Gabriel Jackson. And he's ridden out of bounds to the 19. They are not stopping the clock. The clock continues to run. Now it stops at 37.3. And the Wofford coaches are bidding for more time. This is Nick Robinson, number 27, their freshman kicker, who we mentioned earlier, has not played a football game, high school, you name it, in his life before he kicked 2 weeks ago against South Carolina State. He may be asked to try to kick a field goal here. On the play, getting to the outside is Gabriel Jackson, and he takes it down to the 12-yard line. 27 seconds. They want to ground it here to stop the clock and set up a 4th down and maybe a field goal attempt now. The officials will stop the clock and measure for a 1st down.
Okay. Because it looked like they were going to be short of the 1st down, and they were going to have to kill the clock and give up their opportunity to get the 1st down and take a shot in the end zone. They're going to have to give up that opportunity by killing the clock and get their kicking team on and kick the field goal. Now, they get the clock stopped, and now they can get a play in and maybe go for the 1st down. They come up just shy. It looks at the 1st down. Yeah, Nick is not trying. Nick Robinson, the kicker, he talked about he's not playing any game. He hadn't even tried a field goal this season. He's kicked 5 extra points, and that's it. But this gives Wofford an opportunity to run another offensive play, pick up the 1st down, kill the clock with the move of chains, and they can take a shot at the end zone.
First down.
Right, they can take a shot at the end zone if they can kill the clock with a 1st down here.
So here we go. 22.6 remaining in the 2nd quarter. We'll send it to our studios in Atlanta. Bob Pacello, Laura Oakman standing by. They'll bring you up to date with a very busy Saturday of college football. On 3rd down, inside. See, to the 10. Yes, he's got the first down. Rushing onto the field is the kick team with 16.6. And here is Nick Robinson. It is going to be a 26-yard attempt, his first try in his life. A field goal. And it is wide to the left.
I don't think that the managing the clock there was the right situation. They got the clock stopped with 16.6 seconds left. You go ahead and ground the ball at that point. As your quarterback, ground the football. Go ahead and throw it in the ground. Now your clock stopped. You don't have to rush your kicking team onto the field and get the kick before the clock runs out. You even get an opportunity maybe to take a shot in the end zone with a throw, then get your kicking team on the field to get the kick. I think maybe a mismanagement of the clock at that situation, maybe bad decision-making to get your kick team on at that point.
So the score remains 14-7. And Georgia Southern will take a knee, and this first half will come to an end. The Georgia Southern Eagles looking to avenge last year's 14-7 defeat in Statesboro. Have a 14-7 lead this year at halftime.
Well, we pointed towards that roughing the kicker penalty and what happened after the roughing the kicker penalty. And I've got the stats here. As it turned out, they had Georgia Southern had 42 yards before it. After the roughing the kicker call, 142 yards and a touchdown, including this touchdown by T.J. Anderson.
T.J. Anderson put him in front, and that's where we stand. To our studios in Atlanta after these words.
Tonight on your Southern Sports Report, it's a big weekend for college football in the Southeast with showdowns like Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia LSU. The SEC is in the spotlight, and we've got all the big plays on your Southern Sports Report tonight after the game.
The ultimate fantasy football show. We know who to start. We know who to sit. Who's a stud and who's a dud. We know the hidden gems. We know what you don't. Weekends on Fox Sports Net.
What goes farther when beginning and maintaining a client relationship? A garbled conference call and a blurry fax? Or walking through their door, putting a name to a face, and making sure they know they made the right decision? Traveling with U.S. Airways is just good business. That way, they'll always know they're in good hands. Fly U.S. Airways to the most popular business destinations. Visit usairways.com for details. U.S. Airways, proud to be a supporter of the Southern Conference.
Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it. It's the final days of Ford's authorized clearance. Get $4,250 cash back on F-150. Plus, qualified customers get an additional $750 military appreciation cash for a total of up to $5,000. Or choose 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150. But hurry, Ford's authorized clearance ends soon. Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it.
Hi, Bob Pasella. Welcome to our Fox Sports Net Midtown Atlanta studios. It is halftime between Georgia Southern and Wofford. We will get you back to the game in just a few minutes. But first, a busy day in college football. Let's catch you up. Started off in the SEC down in Baton Rouge, and a battle of unbeaten. 7th-ranked Georgia, number 11 LSU. Since Mark Richt became the Bulldogs coach, Georgia 9-0 on an opponent's home field. Take you down to Tiger Stadium, 91,000 strong on hand, and Billy Bennett, the story early, 3 missed field goals, and that would come back to haunt the Bulldogs. Just could not find the uprights. This one actually hits the left upright, so technically he did find it. Second quarter, 3-0 Dogs when Chiron Carey takes it in, 7-3 Tigers at the half. Fourth quarter, 10-3 LSU. On 4th and 2, Georgia tries to fake the punt, but the Bulldogs come up short and turn it over on downs. And on the ensuing drive on 3rd and 2, Matt Mock, the option keeper, Odell Thurman, forces the fumble. The Bulldogs recover, and Georgia has life after the turnover. David Green to Tyson Browning in the flat, takes it up the left sideline, and look at him go. 93 yards for the score, and the Bulldogs have tied it at 10. But on the ensuing kickoff, DeVary Henderson Great cut, follows his blocking. Out to near midfield. The Tigers in business. Under 2 minutes to play. Mock rolls out. And Skylar Green wide open behind all the Georgia defenders. 17-10 LSU. One last chance for the Bulldogs. But Green has it tipped that is picked off by Corey Webster. And that is the ball game. LSU hangs on for the 17-10 victory. So the Bengal Tigers run their record to 4-1, handing the Bulldogs, or 4-0 I should say, handing them Georgia its first loss of the season as Rick loses on an opponent's field. David Green threw for over 300 yards, but not enough. 2 interceptions were costly. But what really killed the Bulldogs were those 3 missed field goals by the usually reliable Billy Bennett. All right, out to Gainesville, 17 Florida, hosting number 12 Tennessee. First quarter, 3-0 Gators when Engel Martin is picked off by Marvin Mitchell. End of the first half, Casey Clausen, the Hail Mary, and James Banks must have said his prayers. How about this? Somehow comes up with it. Touchdown. Gators go into the locker room trailing 7-3. So Tennessee has taken the lead. Third quarter, leading 10-3. Clausen winds up again, and this time finds Brett Smith for the score. Right here, Jabari Davis takes it in for the score. 17-3 at that point. Fourth quarter, Gators coming back. Deshaun Wynn powers his way into the end zone. It's 17-10. But late in the fourth, Vols put it away. That man, Jabari Davis, just bulls his way into the end zone. A huge road victory for Phil Fulmer and company. 24-10 is the final as the Volunteers improve to 3-0, handing the Gators their second loss of the season. An amazing stat. Clausen now 11-0 as a starter on the road. The numbers, the Vols 370 total yards, the Gators 365. Each had 2 turnovers. Basically, the only thing that separated these 2 teams, those 2 big plays. As we go to a break, scores from around the Southern Conference. We're back with more highlights when the halftime show continues.
For the first time on television, Girls of Hooters Heat Wave.
On today's menu, we have blondes, brunettes, and a side order of bikinis.
From around the globe to your living room on pay-per-view, it's the Girls of Hooters. One-on-one interviews to on-location photo shoots. Now is your chance to get up close and personal with some of the most beautiful Hooter girls from around the world. Order Girls of Hooters Heat Wave on pay-per-view.
Well, I hope Roger found enough firewood. Yeah, I want to make s'mores. Hey guys, I gathered the wood and made a fire. Oh yeah, and I built the shelter.
Even as a kid, I believed in giving people a little more than they expected. I'm Roger Riney. I started Scottrade to take care of online investors like nobody else. With $7 trades, no inactivity fees, and personal attention at your local office. Click, call, or stop by Scottrade today.
54321. Weekdays on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back. ACC this afternoon. North Carolina State hosting Texas Tech. Big game for T.A. McClendon. 29 yards for the score here as the Wolfpack go up early 7-0. He left the game late with a leg injury, ran for over 100 yards. Ensuing possession for the Red Raiders, B.J. Simmons. Feeling the pressure, ill-advised pass, and he is picked off by Gregory Golden, who is off to the races. Wolfpack go up 14-0 and win it by a final count of 49-21, despite giving up 681 yards. North Carolina in search of its first win in Wisconsin against the Badgers. Second quarter, Jim Sorge to a wide-open Lee Evans. Badgers go up 7. Fourth quarter, Wisconsin leading 28-20 when Sorge finds a wide-open Darren Charles. Wisconsin wins it 38-27. Tar Heels fall to 0-3. A reminder, the Southern Sports Report follows tonight's game. All the college football. Plus, we are joined by Fox's Pam Oliver to talk NFL. Fantasy Freaks, we get you ready for Week 3, and the Braves trying to play spoiler against the Florida Marlins. That is all tonight on the SSR. Following the game, we've got to take a break right now, but when we come back, it is back out to Gibbs Stadium. Bob Rathbun and David Archer, the second half. Georgia Southern and Wofford. We will see you right after the game.
In 1856, future Congressman Samuel Dibble received the first degree conferred by Wofford College. For 150 years, Rhodes Scholars and future physicians, attorneys, judges, ministers, educators, and community servants have graduated from this historic campus in Spartanburg, South Carolina to serve church and nation. Wofford enjoys an international reputation for its Phi Beta Kappa liberal arts program and is the nation's smallest college fielding a Division I football team.
I love this river. One minute it's calm, predictable. The next, it's trying to throw you off for all it's worth. But that's life. You set your course, equip yourself the best you can, and find a good guide to show you the way. That's what a bank should be. A guide to show you the way.
What goes farther when beginning and maintaining a client relationship? A garbled conference call and a blurry fax? Or walking through their door, putting a name to a face, and making sure they know they made the right decision? Traveling with U.S. Airways is just good business. That way, they'll always know they're in good hands. Fly U.S. Airways to the most popular business destinations. Visit usairways.com for details. U.S. Airways, proud to be a supporter of the Southern Conference.
Halftime here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, with the Georgia Southern Eagles leading the Wofford Terriers by a 14-7 score. Bob Rathbun welcoming you back here to Gibbs Stadium on the Wofford College campus. One young man that we had hoped to see tonight was the senior fullback from Wofford, J.R. McNair. This was the scene earlier this evening around 6:15 as McNair was trying to get his ankle set to play tonight. Obviously dressed, trying to go, but could not. He suffered a high ankle sprain 2 weeks ago in the South Carolina State game, and he has been unable to come back. But he is a remarkable young man. He is a guy that we could all learn some life lessons from. J.R. McNair is back for his senior season. The 5'10", 208-pound fullback isn't what you would call a big runner. So he adopted a mathematical philosophy on running the ball.
You know, I've always felt that the closest point to an end zone is a straight line. And if I don't have to do too much juking and jiving, I'm going to try to get there. But, you know, if I have to put on the speed, I can put on the speed. But if there's a defender in the way for me in that end zone, then you're going to have to see who the man is today.
McNair has rushed for over 1,300 yards in his first 3 seasons, scoring 18 touchdowns. But his resume off the field may be more impressive. The student body president. He carries a 3.6 GPA as a finance major. He creates websites and sings in the choir.
He's what I want my kid to be. I mean, J.R. McNair is what I want my kid to be. He's a tremendous student, a tremendous person off the field, great citizen, just a tremendous person all around.
You can tell he is a natural leader. He is not treating his senior season any differently.
I don't feel I have to be any more of a leader than I did last year as a junior. I just believe, you know, I have to continue to have that consistency. And anything, you have to have consistency. And I believe if I do that every day, coming out here and practicing, giving it 200%, then my fellow teammates will see that, and they'll want to come up to par with me and also go along with my league.
J.R. is a very special young man. We have another special young man with us here, the commissioner of the Southern Conference, Dan Morrison. And Danny, if you had a roster full of people like JR, you wouldn't have any worries.
Well, he certainly represents this conference very well. He's an impressive young man, a great football player, and certainly a wonderful citizen as well as a great student. So he's got the full package, and there's a lot of them like that in the Southern Conference. Of our 4,000 student athletes in the Southern Conference, over a third of them are on the academic honor roll, which means they have a 3.0 or better. So a lot of good J.R. McNair types out there.
Indeed. It has been a very busy day in the Southern Conference. The league really getting cranked up. Now we had that Furman-Elon game about 3 weeks ago, but now the conference race is underway in earnest. And you are a busy man. You were up in Cullowhee earlier today, saw Western Carolina and the Citadel, and that was a heck of a game.
It was a great game. Western Carolina jumped off to a 20-0 lead and then held on at the end to win 28-21. Citadel scored with about 45 seconds to go. Onside kick. Western Carolina gets it and holds on for the win. But great Southern Conference football, and I think the last 6 times Western Carolina and Citadel have played, it's all been decided by a touchdown or less. So, again, another competitive year.
Well, this is our first visit here to this beautiful facility here at Gibbs Stadium, and as a Wofford man yourself and former athletic director here, I know you're proud of what they've done.
Well, they've done a wonderful job here. It's a facility fits Wofford. It's not that large a facility, but it's a beautiful facility, and there's been a lot of work on the grounds and just making it first class and attractive. And I just came from Western Carolina, where they spent about $5 million on their facility up there, and it's beautiful, and I think you could go throughout our conference with very first-class, nice facilities.
And you can. Indeed. Well, we appreciate you coming by, Dan, and we really look forward to this 2003 season.
Well, great. Always enjoy visiting with you, Bob.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And, of course, we should say, Dan, the hospitality here at Wofford, second to none. I've been broadcasting college football since 1978, and finally, I have a mascot that's fallen in love with me. It's taken a long time, but Gibbs Stadium, Spartanburg, I have arrived.
That's fantastic.
We're ready to dance, no matter when or where.
There's nothing worse than being ready to go and your car won't. So we're ready in advance. Ready with the right equipment, the right people, and the right parts. All at ready-to-go, low prices. And if it's your battery, we'll install it for free. So bring it on. We're ready in advance.
For the best part, people and right, we're ready to dance. Yeah, bring it on.
It's not just champion athletes leading the way in sports today. It's the unseen champions behind the sports who are leading the way. At the Stedman Hawkins Sports Medicine Foundation, we work hard to deliver research outcomes that will improve quality of life. Research in sports medicine, rehabilitation, wellness, nutrition, injury prevention, healing, and arthritis. Stedman Hawkins, dedicated to keeping athletes and people of all ages physically active through research and education.
Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it.
It's the final days of Ford's authorized clearance. Get $4,250 cash back on F-150. Plus, qualified customers get an additional $750 military appreciation cash for a total of up to $5,000. Or choose 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150. But hurry, Ford's authorized clearance ends soon.
Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it.
We welcome you back to halftime here in Spartanburg with Georgia Southern leading Wofford by a score of 14-7. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer back with you here in the booth. And Dave, an outstanding first half of football, no doubt about that.
It really was. Both teams played extremely clean. A couple of little things hurt Georgia Southern from getting another couple of scores, but credit Wofford for hanging in. Made a nice defensive stand late here in the first half to keep this game close.
All right, sir. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. And the first highlight comes compliments of the Wofford Terriers as Johnson takes it in from 2 yards away.
Just the offensive line coming off the ball and beating it in there. Good early score for Wofford.
Georgia Southern missing on a 40-yard field goal. That kept the Terriers in front by a 7-0 score. But then on the toss, here's Kevin Davis going 36.
Kevin Davis was a huge factor in the first half, had 2 long runs, and that one was for a touchdown, 36-yard touchdown run.
And T.J. Anderson putting the Eagles on top.
The offensive line blocking downfield, that was Bentley getting a block downfield with Spring, Anderson. Then Anderson again carries the football. This time it's jarred loose, and Thomas comes up with the fumble recovery to set up maybe a field goal attempt. It was Didn't think the clock was managed quite properly there at the end of the first half, but a missed field goal for Wofford and a chance to close the gap against Georgia Southern.
Well, look at the first half statistics, and Georgia Southern racking up the rushing yards is, of course, they're custom with 153 in that first half, but overall the yardage tilting in Wofford's favor.
Yeah, the two teams are playing extremely well. Both of them are moving the football. I think the only mistake that Georgia Southern made, the fumble that stopped the drive, that maybe could have put them up 21-7. They get the stop, Wofford gets the stop, and then they go down the other end of the field. But Georgia Southern's laid the ball on the ground 3 times. Only one is a turnover, but the other 2 put them in second and long situations when they recovered their own fumbles.
Dave Archer, we talk so often about momentum in a football game, and here is Wofford getting a little head of steam to end that first half, albeit they did not score. Now Georgia Southern, after winning the toss, will get the football to start the third quarter. How important is it going to be for these Terriers to come out and stop Georgia Southern and not get 2 touchdowns down?
Well, it's very important. A lot of coaches will tell you the most important time in a game is that 5 minutes of the second half. That's when you're going to establish who's going to make that push to win the football game. Southern's going to get that first opportunity to have the football.
Let's take a look at the possession time. Wofford held it for a minute and a half more, ran 9 more plays, and yet they trailed by a touchdown.
Well, I think that says that they're doing a good job of moving the football. They've run more plays. They've had the ball a little longer, about a minute and a half longer. But what it tells me is that they're moving the ball and they're keeping Georgia Southern's defense on the field, and that was important. Coach Ayers wanted to keep Southern's offense off the field because that's where all their big plays are made, and they've done that to a certain extent in the first half.
What did you make of the quarterback change for Wofford? I thought that Trey Rogers came on and really did a fine job.
I agree with you. A huge spark. Rogers comes off, and it wasn't so much that Zolman wasn't making some plays. He did. He made the nice run to set up their first touchdown. But when Rogers came in, there was a little spark, and that's what the coach is hoping for. You change one piece of the puzzle. Let your quarterback, he might see things a little differently, and he certainly kick-started the offense.
So we're getting set for the start of the third quarter here from Spartanburg. A night where the Southern Conference is getting this league play underway in fine fashion. A wonderful game at Cullowhee with Western Carolina winning over the Citadel, and now we got a tough, tight one here between Georgia Southern, Wofford, and Zolman. Wofford, of course, the Terriers will be on defense to start this third quarter as we get set
for the kickoff here. Yes, you see what Coach Ayers decides to do this quarterback situation, whether Zolman comes back and is his guy to start the second half and then brings Rogers again off the bench. Rogers ended up being the leading rusher for Wofford in the first half with 7 carries and 40 yards.
So here we go. Jay Harvey set to kick it to Lewis Barr of Georgia Southern. Barr in the first half had 1 kick return for 44 yards. Barr will take this one at his 5. Nice little pocket, closes quickly. Barr dances his way to the 29. Again, get the football out of his hands, but unsuccessful. And Barr with a good return. 1st and 10 for Georgia Southern.
To contain a guy like that, Barr is so dangerous. You have to be very disciplined on your special teams, and everybody has to stay in their lanes. Each guy is assigned about a 4 or 5 yard lane as he runs down the field. Must maintain that lane even though you're being blocked. Good job by Wofford's coverage team to do that there.
Interesting numbers, Dave, on Chaz Williams in that first half. He passed it better, 2 out of 3, but only 7 yards rushing in 6 attempts.
Yeah, they featured Austin.
Williams will take it on this attempt and out to the 32-yard line. It's interesting to note that in Chaz Williams' time at quarterback at Georgia Southern, when he's been held at fewer than 100 yards, the Georgia Southern record is 1-5, and that win was Savannah State earlier this year.
Well, it tells you how important he is to this offense. And I think he's continued to keep Austin involved. Obviously, the pitches that he was making to Anderson and to Davis were key.
2nd and long.
With the keep. It's going to be 3rd and about 3.
He has such good vision on the option because you have to see through things, almost a 3D type of vision. You're not only looking for the man that is in charge of pitch, making you pitch the football, but you're also reading behind that. Who's taking the pitch? Is there a lane I can duck it back up underneath? And that's exactly what he did there.
3rd and 3.
Chaz up to 14 yards. He's matched his first half output here on this opening drive of the third quarter. Williams, bad toss. This one, fortunately for Georgia Southern, will roll out of bounds. But boy, they got away with one that time.
They really did. That was a poor decision because the player in charge of the pitch was right there. And Chaz, Coach Seawalk was wanting him to turn that one up. Here you see that the man in charge of the pitch is coming out right there. The hit made, he was coming. Teddy Whitaker had the quarterback covered. So a good job of Wofford's defense. And here it is. They made a nice 3-and-out defensively. Forced Georgia Southern into a punt.
Sean Holland is the punter. Shieldwood is going to make the fair catch at the 27-yard line, a 38-yard punt. So 3-and-outs for Georgia Southern.
If you're a Wofford fan, just what the doctor ordered, now you get your offense back on the field, which made a nice drive at the end of the first half, which resulted into the missed field goal that should have a little bit of momentum. Let's see who comes out at quarterback here. Looks like Zolman will start the first half or the second half here at quarterback.
Jeff from Dayton, Ohio. Brother Greg quarterback at Vanderbilt in 2000-2001 seasons. Back at the helm. And he is going to hand it over to Gabriel Jackson up to the 24-yard line.
It's fun to watch what coaches do at halftime when they come out to see what kind of adjustments they make. This time, Wofford comes out in a stacked eye and then motions the third back out into the right side as an additional block and just an ISO play strong side. Nice pickup.
An inside handoff to Sullivan. Derek Butler there to meet him.
I'm really impressed with the linebacking core of Georgia Southern. They seem to be all over the field. Butler, Burchett, Eric White before the injury. Moorings made a whole bunch of plays. They just are very active. It seems like they just don't stay blocked for very long.
Third down and short.
There's something you don't see is the opposing team trying to get their crowd up on the other side of the field.
Well, the Eagles fans travel well. A lot of them up to support their Eagles on the road tonight. Zolman trying to turn the corner, stretching for the first down. Let's see where they mark his progress. Derek Butler coming through again, and you'll see him on the pursuit.
Watch Butler flow down the line. He's got to keep people off of his feet. You see him running side to side. Now the quarterback is mine. He makes a tackle. Does Zolman stretch long enough to get the first down? This can be very close.
Time called as the chain gang comes across. 14-7, Georgia Southern. Short by that much.
Boy, with these two teams, this game is the true essence of a game of inches because these two teams are fighting for every yard, every inch they get.
So another fourth down try for Wofford here.
And you don't, and here's the ball on your own 37-yard line in a 14-7 game in the third quarter. And there's no hesitation by Coach Ayers. We're going to go ahead and go for this.
Fourth and inches. Zolman. Again, it's going to come down to the spot of the football.
Yeah, is it a left foot or a right foot spot, which ends up giving you the first down? It looks like he spotted it with his left foot, which is about half a football, and that's all he got that by.
Wofford's 10th first down. Now let's see what the Terriers are thinking.
Well, Southern did Wofford did what they wanted to do to start off. They wanted to get a first down and move the chains. Now the ball, they've shortened the field for themselves.
This time working out of the eye with a man in motion. The give is to Kevius Johnson. And Kevius over the 50 and out to the 48-yard line. A
A run on the play of 15 yards. We've been watching Derek Butler. What happens to him here?
Watch Kevius Jackson get the block. Gabriel Jackson's extra running back. Super block by Kevius Johnson to free Gabriel Jackson to get up here. Here's the block again. Got right into the legs. We talked about this athletic linebacking core. Kevius Johnson switches it up. The super athlete wearing number 20 wearing the black jersey tonight, too.
Another first down for the Terriers. This time they work out of the gun. And this is Johnson. High stepping through at the 40. To the 35 to the 32-yard line.
A late flag flies in at the end of this. With a late hit or maybe using the helmet a little bit too much on the tackle at the end of the run. Super run by Kevius Johnson. Makes the block and then runs the off-tackle play for a big gain for this offense.
One stat that caught our eye about Johnson. Here's the play call from Lewis Foreman.
After the play was over, personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, a big gain got bigger.
Good blocking up front. You see Birch is on the ground, which tells you the offensive line is coming off the ball. Watch the linebacker 51 end up on the ground right there, and then Johnson used the athleticism to get more yards. There's your late hit. Mooring. Mooring trying to get that shot. Johnson blocked him on the play previous. He wanted to get a little late hit on him.
First and 10 at the 18. Kevius Johnson to the 15. The stat I was talking about for Johnson is that coming in, averaging 6 yards per carry. Not bad for a freshman.
That's not bad for anybody. He hasn't hurt himself tonight either. He's running the football with a purpose.
A 14-7 lead, but that in jeopardy. Kevius Johnson, 9 carries, 52 yards. He's right at his average, a little bit better. Get some wiggle room to the outside.
Just a little misdirection again. Again, these are plays you throw in. You keep the defense honest. And we talk about the athleticism of the linebackers, even in the front group. This front 7 for Georgia Southern all can run. You want to keep them at home to set up your ability to run the ball on the edge with the option.
All right, Mr. Play Caller, third down and about 6.
I think you get right back to having Zolman on the edge with the ability to pitch the ball or run it.
Wofford 3 of 10 on conversion. Play clock at 3. They get it off in plenty of time. Zolman looks for a seam. And to the 10, he's going to be short a couple of yards. McIntyre jumped on his back. Big Eric, a junior, 6'1", 257.
I don't see him rushing the field goal unit onto the field here. I think we're going to get it. They're going to go ahead and put it in the hands of the team they feel the most confidence in, and that's a big offensive line up front, and in Zolman's hands to try to make a play.
Zolman. Touchdown. And a penalty flag. This one's coming back.
Illegal motion. It looked like one of the wingbacks might have moved a count early on the play, and it really destroys tremendous execution on this play because Kevius Johnson gets a tremendous block on the edge to give Zolman the crease to hit it up in there and run for the touchdown.
Illegal motion on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, fourth down.
Coach Ayers, yes, watch your, see your wingback at the top of the screen here. It's a little bit of a jump. Watch these 2 blocks. Kevius Johnson, 20 right there, and then the lineman downfield gets a little pop, and Zolman stretches with that the effort he's shown all night to get it in the end zone, but all for naught.
32.
Try another field goal here.
32-yard attempt by Nick Robinson, the freshman from DeLand, Florida. An all-region soccer player trying his best to
do some place kicking for this Wofford team. Missed a field goal at the end of the first half. His first field goal attempt of his life. High snap. Just right blocked. And here's the ability. Rolling around with a 40 and down to the 45-yard line.
Well, that play was in trouble from the start. High snap. The holder had a tough time getting the ball down. Brandon Starks was trying to hold. Could not get the ball down.
Aaron Whitaker breaks through the block at number 26.
That's the high snap. And tough time getting it down. And then Whitaker comes through clean. Whitaker's untouched around the edge. Looked like, because the ball was high, the kick was a hair late, allowed Whitaker to get there and get the hand on the block.
So Georgia Southern with the football. First and 10 at their own 45-yard line. And Jermaine Austin. Oh, a couple of yards out to about the 47.
Number 95.
That change in field position is incredible. Things go back and forth. Wofford gets the stop early in the third quarter, gets the ball, and then they drive the length of the field, and you get a block field goal. Now here Georgia Southern is with their offense on the field and a short field to go.
So Wofford went 10 plays, but no points. With the big tackle on T.J. Anderson.
Thrift has had an outstanding game, rolling down the line of scrimmage, obviously in charge of the pitch from what they're doing defensively. He's made several plays and forced it right at the line of scrimmage. Thrift will flow along the line of scrimmage 44, play off the block, and make the play on Anderson.
Third down. And 9. Jazz wants to throw. He's rushing. Escapes Thrift. Now throws. And it's incomplete. Well shy of intended receiver T.J. Anderson.
I'll tell you what, Wofford is very well schooled. There's a flag down on the play. Very well schooled with not getting sucked in on these play fakes and the long throws. So often when you have a team that runs the option and you're pounding the option, all of a sudden a guy comes out scot clean on a pass. Wofford has stayed at home, been very well coached to stay with the receivers. No big plays given up in the passing game.
Big discussion. Mike Seward scratching his head. Let's see what the penalty is. It's against his Eagles. Personal foul.
And even though this is a change of possession situation, might not be a bad idea to go ahead and move them back 15. They're not going to do it, though. Maybe move them. My thought was move them back.
After the play was over, personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty. It'll be fourth down.
And they did go ahead. It was a dead ball foul, so they got the 15-yard penalty anyway, and they're forced into a punting situation.
The fourth penalty against Georgia Southern. The deep man is Shield Wood. Sean Holland agreed to a punt for the Eagles. Midway through the third here in Spartanburg. 14-7. Georgia Southern with the lead, but Wofford looking to gain in field position here after the punt. Penalty flag.
A high booming punt by Holland. Wood backing to his own 20. Gets away from one man, but can't escape the right jerk downfield to the 27, a 7-yard return after a 50-yard punt. But the question of the penalty to be decided.
A little false start. Looks like he'll have to try to hit that one again.
Mike is not happy.
So you don't often get your kicker to pound one out of their 50 yards, and it equalized the field position situation. Now he's going to have to repeat the performance.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. 6-man on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat fourth down.
I don't want to be in the film room when they go over that one.
Yeah, that's a mental error. Somebody's supposed to be on the line of scrimmage who is not. You can bet on the fact that Coach Seward will have a talk with that person. I think he's going to have several discussions
He has
on film day.
Chat time.
He doesn't look like he's one of those guys that lets any stone go unturned.
So on 4th and 29, Holland has to kick it again after you mentioned Dave, that 50-yarder.
handles the low snap. And Field will catch it, and he is dropped immediately. No return. Terrence McBride downfield to make a good play after a 47-yard punt by Sean Holland. Timeout from Spartanburg.
I think if my father made it to college, he'd be a teacher. But the Army called him. I learned a lot from him. But mostly, it's not how much you make that matters, but what you stand for. Maybe that's not something you show your banker on a balance sheet, but they should know what it's worth.
Tools, tools, tools. When you got a job to do, they're always on your mind. And that's why you trust the store that loves tools as much as you do. More people buy their tools from Sears than anywhere else in America, because only Sears has the best selection and all the top brands, including Craftsman, America's #1 tool brand. Now at our great weekend sale, save 50% on a great selection of tools, including our 248-piece Craftsman Mechanics tool set and our 15.6-volt Craftsman grill. Sears, good life, great price.
Look at these wackos. 14-7 is our score.
Most of the guys are throwing in the mud pit last night over at the fraternity.
My kind of guess. Fantasy football.
So now there's a show just for you. 30 minutes of who to start, who to sit, and who you need to pick up. The Ultimate Fantasy Football
Show Saturday night and Sunday morning only on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings for start times in your area. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer with you from Spartanburg. It's a 14-7 lead for the visitors from Statesboro. 7:15 left in the third quarter. And the Terriers ready. Out of the gun is Zolman. A quick handoff.
And Eric McIntyre says, no way. Davis Johnson denied. Second and long.
Well, Wofford has not had a problem moving the football the last 2 times they've touched it. Right before the end of the first half, had a nice drive. 14-play drive. At 4 minutes and 30 seconds, missed the field goal. Come back to open up the second half with a 10-play drive. Another 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and they get the field goal blocked. Incredible. 24 plays and eaten up 9 minutes on the clock. Have not gotten anything out of it.
Play for Georgia Southern was big 98 Eric Hanley. Boy, he whipped him around like he was a rag doll.
Hadley does a super job. Keedius Johnson almost turns around and looks back at his quarterback and asks, why didn't you give me the ball?
Watch Keedius Johnson run through untouched, number 20. And he looked back as his quarterback was tackled by Hadley, like, why didn't you give me the ball? Because nobody was anywhere around him.
Hanley gets in front of you, 6'2", about 260 to pull eclipse. Good save. It's on the throw, and it is going to be incomplete at the 45-yard line. Just a little bit shy. Intended for Curtis Nash.
Good throw there, Bob. Good throw. The comeback route, one of the more difficult routes to complete. It's a route where his receivers got to get beyond the line of scrimmage, see him turn it loose before the receiver came out of the route. The ball's right there. You got to make that play for your quarterback. You just got to make that catch.
Zolman 2 for 4 for 19 yards. Jimmy Minor is the Wofford punter. And the always dangerous Lewis Barr. Waiting to his own 25. Minor bouncing one out of bounds at the 30. Now let's see, they're going to mark it at the 41-yard line. Timeout at
Spartanburg, 14-7. Georgia Southern on Fox Sports Net.
Introducing Dish Home Interactive TV on Channel 100. The convenient way to get what you want when you want it. Like local and national 5-day forecasts and current weather conditions, late-breaking news and entertainment buzz, account information, and the power to pay your bill or add programming. Even get the latest sports scores and much more. Dish Home Interactive TV is free and easy to use. Just use your remote control from the comfort of your couch. So don't wait around. Get the information you want. Tune to Channel 100 right now.
For more, the writer and director of Roger and Me and the author of Stupid White Men takes aim at America's most controversial subject.
Why do you think we have so many gun murders in America?
Because everybody's first reaction is pull the gun out.
Critics are calling Bowling for Columbine brilliant, scathing, provocative, incendiary, hilarious, and absolute must-see.
I loves my gun. Loves my gun.
Bowling for Columbine. Victor.
Thank you for not shooting me.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on Fox Sports Net. College football on Fox Sports Net. Southern Conference action coming your way from Wofford and Gibbs Stadium. Mike Ayers and the Terriers hosting number 6 Georgia Southern. And a 14-7 score in favor of Georgia Southern. Bob Rath and Dave Archer with you. We have had no scoring yet in this second half. The Wofford defense has held Georgia Southern in check in this third quarter, but the offense of the Terriers unable to do anything with the football. They've had yardage, but no points. Williams on the pitch. T.J. Anderson fed and dropped, and there's that man again, Dave. Timmy Thrift.
Guess who? Timmy Thrift has been all over these pitchbacks all night long, and just another super play running down the line of scrimmage. Thrift is following the flow. They're trying to cut him off of the lineman, but he's just too quick. He gets to Anderson and makes the play. Matt Nelson kind of shoring things up from the safety position.
Again, Georgia Southern not getting much on first down. They give to Jermaine Austin. And Jermaine picks up the yardage. He gets it out to the 50, just shy, it appears, of a first down. Ryan Steele, the strong safety man, with the tackle.
Was a nice little wrinkle by Georgia Southern we had not seen yet. Chaz Williams starts down the line of scrimmage as an option, then reverses back and hands the ball back to Austin, who had a little delay crease inside.
13 carries, 75 yards for sophomore Jermaine Austin. Straight ahead goes Chaz. First down at the Wofford 48.
Well, this Wofford defense should be fairly fresh. They haven't been on the field much over the last, you count the last of the first half, and this half, they've only been on the field for a few minutes.
Chaz Williams, 9 carries, but 16 yards. Austin. And this time, it was Lee Basinger that had him around the ankle.
Tough play for a nose tackle to make that tackle. He's just trying to eat up the center. When you're a 3-4 or a 50 tight defense, you have 5-4 linebackers that are usually in charge of coming up and making your hits. Once your defensive lineman, your 3 defensive linemen eat up the offensive line. He got played off the center and then made the tackle on Austin.
Jermaine. Dives to the 40. Eating up the yards now. The Eagles on offense. Jim Thurman the tackle.
Southern back to what they like to do. Let their big offensive line lean on you and begin to pound on you. The defensive front for Wofford is a little small, 250, 250, and 260 across the front. And that bigger offensive line begin to batter him a little bit and try to lean on him and wear him down.
Third down. Austin. First down at the Wofford 30. Another big gain for Jermaine of 10 yards. This young man from Darien, Georgia, and was a tremendous wrestler in high school. He was 25-0 as a senior, won 161 matches wrestling, and both he and J.R. McNair, great wrestlers, telling us how important that training was to their football.
Yeah, their balance, and you can see it stepping over people laying on the ground. It's really hard to knock off his feet.
Austin, and again, finding that hole, diving down to the 25-yard line. In the Southern Conference today, Appalachia gets its first win, 24-21 over Morehead State. Elon with the home field win over East Tennessee, 14-0. In Cullowhee, Western defeats the Citadel, 28-21. Gardner-Webb in the fourth, leading UTC 23-13. And just over the hill from here at Furman, 17-10, the Paladins lead Richmond. Austin with another carry to the 23. It's mind the way they pound you.
Well, the Georgia Southern coaches have obviously seen how well we called Timmy Frist's number several times tonight, making a play on the pitch. So obviously they see that the linebackers are beginning to overrun the fullback, and now they're calling a few different blocking schemes to get that front three block and let Austin get a crease in there, because maybe those linebackers are overrunning the play to stop the pitch.
Austin right at 100 yards now, the 10th 100-yard game of his career. Williams with 2-1, and they get the handoff, and not much. That'll be fourth and about 2, maybe 3 yards. Obviously some confusion there.
Yeah, they had an equipment problem, and just barely got the snap off. Now they're going to try a field goal now.
So coming in, Sean Holland will attempt a 40-yard field goal. And this one is good. A 40-yarder for Sean. A penalty flag.
Critical here either way. A penalty on Wofford gives the first down. Defensive holding was the initial signal, which would give Georgia Southern a first down, and I think you immediately put your offense back on the field and try to punch it in.
The explanation from Lewis Foreman.
Holding on the defense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's an unusual call on a field goal to get defensive holding, but what happens in that situation, your special teams probably has a block play on where you're trying to pull one of the blockers out of the way and get one of your other defenders up through the hole to make the block. Well, oftentimes that will be called as defensive holding for pulling the offensive player out of the way. That evidently is what happened in that sequence.
So the points come off the board. It remains 14-7. Jazz Williams and a big toss. It's a loose football that's going to be recovered by Wofford. Another poor pitch by Chaz Williams, and Thrift was there to break up the play, but they, with the recovery, you take the points off the board. It's the old adage, bad things happen, and it's a turnover for Georgia Southern. 57 seconds left to go in the period. It's Wofford football when we come back on Fox Sports Net.
What goes farther when beginning and maintaining a client relationship? A garbled conference call and a blurry fax? Or walking through their door? Putting a name to a face and making sure they know they made the right decision. Traveling with U.S. Airways is just good business. That way they'll always know they're in good hands. Fly U.S. Airways to the most popular business destination. Visit usairways.com for details. U.S. Airways, proud to be a supporter of the Southern Conference.
Any way you want it, it's the way you need it. Any way you want it. Time is running out to get the best deals ever on Ford Focus. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,000 cash back on Focus. Plus, qualified buyers get an additional $750 cash back. That's up to $3,750 cash back. But hurry, it all ends soon. Any way you want it, it's the way you need it.
Well, Georgia Southern accepted a penalty that took a 20-yard field goal off the board. Very next play, poor pitch. Hit him in the shoulder.
You know, and I would blame the back in that situation, not keeping a good pitch relationship. Looked like he got downhill before Chaz decided to pitch it to him, which would change where the ball would come in on him. Came on a shoulder pad in the back, and again, our man Timmy Thrift is there to make another play.
I mean, it's interesting. Well, let's see what Walker can do. We'll talk about the Georgia Southern offense here in just a second. As this time, Wofford will go to Corey Dunn for a couple of yards. Georgia Southern, Dave, has made their mark with the option. I mean, it has been their bread and butter since they reinstituted the program 20 years ago. But the timing and the sequencing of their offense is
totally out of whack. It's a little off, and if it is a little off, it's just like a finely tuned passing game. You're going to be just that far off with a pitch, and the ball's on the ground.
And the way they've been turning it over so far this season is cause for concern in the Eagle Nation. Johnson spinning, getting out to the 26. So Wofford unable to get much in these first two plays as we come to the end of the third quarter. They're going to be faced with a third and about 5, maybe 4 yards to go.
But it's a good situation. They're in a manageable third down as opposed to third and long, which we saw him in early in the first half.
We come to the end of the third quarter here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Number 6, Georgia Southern. Number 25, Wofford. No scoring in that third period, but hard hits and some missed opportunities. We go to the fourth quarter. It's Georgia Southern 14, Wofford 7.
I spent my whole life in a hurry, watching time disappear. No more. Now on, I'm treating time as an asset. I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to invest it in things that really matter. My bank has got to respect that.
Hi, this is Chris Fowler. Follow the nation's best college football teams as they strive for gridiron glory with the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. ESPN Game Plan will feature more than 100 games from the country's top conferences. And if you sign up, you could win an autographed football from Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, or yours truly. To order ESPN Game Plan on Dish Network, season ticket, call 1-800-333-DISH.
America is shaping up with Fitness Made Simple's best-selling workout and nutrition videos, hosted by fitness celebrity John Bastow.
These videos don't offer starvation diets, miracle pills, or magical fat loss pills. Those things never work for me or anyone else I know. What does work are the muscle-building workouts and fat-burning nutrition plans shown on these tapes.
Order our National Shape Up Special today and get the original Fitness Made Simple workout and nutrition video plus 6-pack ab. That's 2 videos for the price of 1. Call now.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
College football Saturday continues on Fox Sports Net, and we have a dandy going in the Southern Conference. Homestanding Wofford looking to shock Georgia Southern for the second consecutive year. Well, they're down 7 as we start the fourth quarter. 14-7, Wofford football, and a third down and 4 as we start the final period. And the Terriers work out of the gun. It is going to be an option toss to the near side. And with it is Gabriel Jackson, taken down by John Mooring. And no first down. They'll mark him at the 30-yard line.
It's close enough that they're going to go for it, though, I would think. This team likes to go for it in this situation. Big lick on the sideline. Play fake to Johnson. And then the pitch, and Garrett's just going to stretch for the first down. And credit, nice play by Aaron Whitaker out there. Aaron Whitaker was being blocked and makes a super play to get in to make the hit. And it looked like Garrett got hit down around the leg somewhere.
Slowly getting to his feet. Gabriel Jackson.
Credit Jackson's effort to get to where he got to, because he was hit a yard short, and now it's just inches from the first down. That's all heart and all effort by Jackson to get as close as he did.
Wofford, as they check on Jackson on the bench, going to be faced with a fourth down and about an inch. They are 2 for 4 on fourth down conversions in this game. Zolman has the play, delivers it to his teammates. Aaron Johnson has come in for Gabriel Jackson. Johnson hit as he gets the handoff. Georgia Southern football.
Derek Butler, the middle linebacker.
Boy, we have called this guy's name all night, almost the same as amount of times we called Timmy Thrift's number on the other side for Wofford. Butler, a huge hit, just guessed. He guesses and shoots. Watch him guess right here. Shoot the A gap. That's the gap between the guard and the center. And he guessed right. He guessed right. The handoff to Kevius Johnson. And he's right in the hole to make the play.
Now Georgia Southern has it at the Wofford 30. Can the Terriers hold him out? It's Jermaine Austin to the 27-yard line. A 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. A crucial part of this game for Wofford.
Well, I think when Coach Ayers goes for it in those situations, obviously he believes in his offense is going to pick it up, but he also believes in this crew that's on the field now. He believes his defense is they're going to blow the backs and hold a team like Southern out of the end zone.
Austin sets the football, takes it to the 25. Stopped by Jim Thurman. A minute into the fourth quarter, 14-7 Georgia Southern. 105 yards for Jermaine. His career high, 160 yards last year against Gardner-Webb. He is like the Energizer Bunny, man. He's coming at you all night long. On the toss, T.J. Anderson. Shy. It's going to be 4th and about 2.
Thrift with another tackle, Bob. Another play to hold him short. It looks like they're going to go ahead and try a field goal.
Sean Holland coming onto the field. As we mentioned earlier, that 40-yarder that he made, which was a career best, taken off the board. Now he's going to try another 40-yarder. Hunter is the holder. Good spot. Kick is up, and this one is way short.
I'll tell you what, that's a tremendous defensive stand by the Wofford defense to rise up after the turnover of downs by their offense.
A timeout at Spartanburg. It remains the Eagles 14, the Terriers 7.
We're ready to dance, no matter when or where.
There's nothing worse than being ready to go and your car won't. So we're ready in advance. Ready with the right equipment, the right people, and the right parts. All at ready to go, low prices. And if it's your battery, we'll install it for free. So bring it on. We're ready in advance.
For the best parts, people and price, we're ready in advance.
Yeah, bring it on. What goes farther when beginning and maintaining a client relationship? A garbled conference call and a blurry fax? Or walking through their door? Putting a name to a face and making sure they know they made the right decision. Traveling with U.S. Airways is just good business. That way they'll always know they're in good hands. Fly U.S. Airways to the most popular business destination. Visit usairways.com for details. U.S. Airways, proud to be a supporter of the Southern Conference.
With Dave Archer, Bob Rathman back with you. Southern Conference football on Fox Sports Net. What a game. 14-7. Georgia Southern in front. Reminder, friends, the NFL returns to Fox tomorrow. The Buccaneers visit Atlanta for an NFC South showdown. Giants Redskins as the NFC East rivals get together. Coverage begins tomorrow at noon Eastern. The biggest stories are in the NFC. And the NFC is on Fox.
Yeah, in fact, I got to leave out of here and drive home tonight because I'm doing the radio pregame show on Z93 in Atlanta.
And you'll be out about, what, 6 in the morning for the pregame?
Seems like it.
Wofford with the football and some running room for Corey Dunn. Dancing his way to the 29-yard line. James Young and Aaron Whitaker come out of the secondary to make the tackle. But a good game for the sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky.
They've mixed that play in several times during the game, and it's come at good times. They pound the run up the middle with Kevius Johnson, and then all of a sudden here comes the misdirection with Dunn around the other way, and they pick up a nice gain there. Now 2nd and about 3.
Solman operating out of the eye. Gives inside. Kevius Johnson to the 20, check that, the 33-yard line. Is it a first down? Yes.
Well, Kevius Johnson's an impressive player. Freshman, 5'9", 180, and just carrying the ball in there where you expect the big fellas carrying it. And he obviously has a big heart because he's not a big guy.
Now, they moved him from halfback to fullback, and with great success. 14-7. Georgia Southern, here he comes again. Slashing inside over the 35 to the 37. 7 straight possessions. Wofford has come up empty-handed. 20-20. They've been wonderful. But getting points on the board has been a problem.
That's exactly right. They've moved the ball extremely well on this Southern defense and just have not been able to punch the football in. In fact, Southern is number 1 in the Southern Conference in defense, only giving up 264 yards a game.
2nd and 7. Zolman on the option. Met and dropped. Butler.
Well defended by both linebackers out there. Mooring had the pitch to Dunn, and Butler was responsible for the quarterback. Zolman stays down after the Butler hit. Looked like he got rolled up in the ankle. Rides the fullback, and now look at the 2 linebackers play it. You see Butler's there, and Mooring's outside playing the pitch. Boy, that's the way you draw it up. The Southern defensive coordinator has to be extremely happy with that. Rusty Russell drawing it up. That's exactly the way he wants them to play it.
The Russell name, of course, a magic one at Georgia Southern. His dad, Irk, getting the program going again back in the early 80s. And what a wonderful winning tradition they've had. So Zolman comes out, and this man, Trey Rogers, who had a wonderful first half, gets another opportunity.
Zolman's such a competitor. You hate to see him come out of the game, but when Rogers came in the first half, he really kick-started this offense. Comes in a big situation here, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, oh, by the way, would you mind pulling us out here?
He'll make a play for us.
Sullivan is his fullback. Rogers wants to pass, now will run, now throws, and it's complete. Up to the 50 as Wood makes the grab. First down, Wofford.
How about coming off the bench and making a throw, though?
Man.
Comes off the bench, they go play action, looking to throw the football down the field. Then scrambles and makes a super throw to the sideline. Here he is, the little play action fake. You see him duck his head. Now he gets a little pressure to the outside. I'm going to run it. No, I'm going to pull up and throw this one right on the money for the first down to Wood.
And with the ball at the 50, we have an injured Wofford Terrier back at the 27-yard line. Last year, Wofford went into Statesboro with Georgia Southern riding a 29-game home field winning streak. The Eagles always tough to beat in Statesboro. But the Eagles had their turnover problems that day. They fumbled it 5 times, lost 1. This is Jesse McCoy, who took it 30 yards for the touchdown. Wofford led 7-0. Then Wofford on a great defensive display here. They stopped the option cold. 3 different plays. And then we move along to the 4th quarter when Georgia Southern put it in. Drake Walden's 2-yard run made it 7-7. Then the Jeff Zolman run of 61 yards to the 1-yard line. Jesse McCoy took it in from there, and Wofford was able to pull off the stunning upset, 14-7. Zolman, shaken up, has given way to Trey Rogers. It is first down. On the fake, now the pass, and Wood knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Here's a look at Zolman.
And that getting the ankle reevaluated, probably got rolled up on the ankle. And Eric Deutsch, the all-Southern Conference offensive guard, was the man down who limped off the field. Looked like he was limping. Most offensive linemen do limp, but I think it was a shoulder that was bothering him. Trey Rogers seems to give him, Bob, a little bit more in the game. And Zolman's such a competitor, but Rogers gives it a little extra with being able to throw the football on the move.
Marty Bauer has come in to take the spot at right guard. Rogers. Net and driven back. They'll give him his progress to the 43, 3rd and short.
Mooring up to make it yet another hit.
The linebacker play in this game on both sides of the football has been outstanding. You started picking all Southern Conference linebackers. You could start right here with this game and pick out about 3 or 4 of them right here.
So what does Mr. Rogers and company have up their sleeves with a 3rd and, we'll call it 2, with a Wofford team that hasn't scored since their 2nd offensive possession of the game, desperately trying to get even.
Again, Wofford's managed the game well. It's a 3rd and 3 situation. A lot of options here for Rogers.
Done. And again, coming through was Mooring, the first hit, and it will be 4th down.
Number 27, John Mooring makes the stop for the Eagles.
4th and 1. Mooring with 9 tackles. His cousin Mike played college football at Pitt, now with the Oakland Raiders. There's some pretty good bloodlines for the Mooring family. 9th play of the drive. Timeout Wofford. They want to talk it over. Crucial play coming. Just under 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter in Spartanburg. 14-7 Georgia Southern.
You taking hard vitamin pills that may not be fully dissolving in your body? See, this represents what happens inside you. Do you know that some hard vitamin pills may not be fully dissolving in your body? Finally, there's a liquid vitamin and mineral supplement called Daily Complete that works and tastes great. You get 211 vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fruits, vegetables, and important herbal ingredients in just 1 ounce a day. Just watch how fast it dissolves. Most of my patients see incredible results.
The Daily Complete gives me lots of energy. I need that energy to keep up with my 5 children.
I only take 1 ounce a day, and it gives me an energy boost that is unbelievable.
The energy level went up with me. My mood is actually more consistent. It doesn't go up and down during the day. I look better. I feel better. It's got a great orange flavor to it.
Try it. It's a 100% money-back guarantee. You take 1 ounce a day. It replaces as many vitamins as you have in your cabinet.
Put your health first. Order Daily Complete right now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Weekdays on Fox Sports Net.
Coming up tonight on the Southern Sports Report, the Bulldogs suffer their first loss of the season. We will hear from Mark Richt and the boys, and we'll hear from the Vols on their huge victory over the Gators today. That's tonight on the SSR. Following the game, hopefully you will join me and Laura Oakman. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Bob, and we've got a dandy here. 4th quarter, 14-7. Georgia Southern Wofford drew first blood way back early in the first quarter. Kevius Johnson taking it in from 2 yards out, 7-0. Georgia Southern tied it. Kevin Davis with a beautiful run of 36 yards to tie the game right at the end of the first quarter at 7-7. Then on Georgia Southern's next drive, T.J. Anderson goes 19 yards, and that put the visiting Eagles in front 14-7. We haven't had any scoring since, but not for lack of effort. A crucial 4th down, and look out, here goes Rogers getting sacked by Burchett. As Georgia Southern has a big 4th down play, but there is a penalty flag at the 37.
I think you're going to get a defensive holding call on Whitaker on the corner against Wood, the wide receiver.
And that will give Wofford the first down.
And Trey Rogers gets up limping after Zolman went to the bench to get taped up. Rogers came out of this with a little pitch fake and wanted to throw the football to Wood on the sideline. A little changeup on 4th and 1. And Whitaker,
boy, he
got folded up. He got up and he walked around, though.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Whitaker held Wood on the sideline. Huge penalty.
So Wofford gets a first down by penalty at the Georgia Southern 31. Well, how many times tonight, Dave, have we seen 4th down plays get turned on a penalty? Roughing the punter in the first half on a 4th down, and now this one keeps the Wofford drive alive. Going to work is Corey Dunn. Dunn to the 10, Dunn to the 5. First and goal.
run straight through the middle on an ISO play, straight up the gut. And this time, the Wofford offensive line get these linebackers blocked. 43 is Butler, gets pushed aside right there by the All-Southern Conference offensive guard, Eric Deutsch, who came back in after the injury and duns to the 5.
26-yard gain. And look at him carry Muhammad 5 yards. Wofford down 7. Trying to prove to their fans and to themselves that last year wasn't a fluke. Johnson looking for that end zone. He is in for the touchdown. Kevius Johnson makes it 14-13. This after Georgia Southern had a sack on 4th down. 2 plays later, thanks to the penalty, they scored.
Oh, the ebb and flow of college football. Now the mistakes will step up and bite you. Here Johnson just gets in behind his offensive line. Bentley, Gibbs, Anderson all push that right side, left side out of the way. They're able to get in behind for the touchdown.
Nick Robinson with the PAT. And this game is tied at 14. Kevius Johnson's second touchdown of the night. And Wofford and Georgia Southern are all even in South Carolina.
Hi, I'm Paul James, the gardener guy of HGTV's Gardening by the Yard. Do you want a great-looking lawn? One that'll make your friends and neighbors turn green with envy? Well, of course you do. That's why you should choose Pennington grass seed. After all, it's the only seed that's pen-coated to help the grass grow stronger, resist pests and diseases, and develop a healthier root system. So the next time you're in the market for grass seed, do what I do. Choose Pennington seed. And look for the entire family of Pennington products at Lowe's and other fine lawn and garden retailers.
Any way you want it, it's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
It's the final days of Ford's authorized clearance. Get 0% plus a cash bonus of up to $1,500. That's a $1,500 bonus on Windstar, $1,000 on Taurus and Ranger. 0% or up to $4,500 cash back, plus $750 military appreciation cash for qualified customers, totaling up to $5,250. But hurry, the 2003 Ford authorized clearance and these incredible offers end soon.
Tonight's game is brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealers, driving the Carolinas. By BB&T, you can tell we want your business. And by Stedman Hawkins, keeping active people active. What a game. Here in Spartanburg, tied at 14 with 8 minutes and 19 seconds left, Wofford and Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern has not lost consecutive games since 1997. They lost last week at McNeese. They are now in a tie against Wofford here tonight.
Wofford's never lost on Fox television. You know that. They're 3-0, trying to defend that crown. They got their own streaks. Wofford's got a few streaks.
Herbert Murdoch and David Hill just said congratulations.
Of course, they've never beaten Georgia Southern here at Gibbs Stadium either, so something's got to give.
And the last 2 times that Georgia Southern has come here, they have shellacked the home team. Not tonight. 14-14, and here we go. Jay Harvey set to kick it off for Wofford, and Lewis Barr, the deep man, a great speed man, is deep. Barr has to go back to his end zone to get it, and runs it out 10, 15, 20, and taken down to the 24-yard line. Nice job downfield for the Terriers as number 43 makes the tackle. That is Timmy Thrift, our inside linebacker from Hilliard, Florida, who has been, or Hoover rather, is making the play. He has been, Steve Hoover is from Austin, Texas. Thrift has been everywhere. And this Georgia Southern offense, Dave, only 44 yards in the second half. Williams gives it to T.J. Anderson. But that time, Wofford had the pitch covered with Matt Nelson, the free safety.
Southern's had 2 3-and-out possessions here in the second half, and the whole season they've only had 27 possessions, only 3 3-and-outs so far in the season. So that tells you how well Wofford's playing defensively.
And if they can get a 3-and-out here, Wofford's going to end up with outstanding field position. Second down, Williams finds that little opening. Gets body position to over the 30 to the 31. It's going to be 3rd down and about 3.
Well, this is the point of the game where you expect your stars to step up and make plays, and that's Jermaine Austin for Georgia Southern. That's Chaz Williams for Georgia Southern. So you look for those two guys to make a play to try to get them in position to score and maybe eke this one out and win the football game. Of course, on the other side of the field, we just saw Matt Nelson there. He's the star on defense along with Timmy Thrift to try to shut down the Southern offense.
James bottled up, dropped, shy of the first down. Guess who? Matt Nelson in on all 3 stops on that series.
We got the 2 stars going head to head. We talked about the look in Matt Nelson's eyes yesterday, and we had a chance to interview him. I think he had the look in the eyes right there on that play to stop Chaz Williams short of the first down and force Southern into a punting situation.
12 tackles for Matt Nelson. And now Matt is back to receive the punt. Sean Holland is ready to punt it. Nelson is going to go to his knees to make a fair catch. At the 33-yard line, a 37-yard punt.
Once again, a 3-and-out for Georgia Southern's defense. Let me get you that stat again. They had 27 series of downs coming into this game and had only gone 3-and-out 3 times. They've done it 3 times in this half against the Wofford defense.
For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, catch the Southern Sports Report right after our football game. Pam Oliver brings us up to date on the NFL. We'll also have the latest on the day in the SEC and complete coverage of the Clemson-Georgia Tech game, all coming up right after the game. Wofford trying to put something together that would give them the lead here. Kevius Johnson brought down by Butler and Young. Johnson's had a big night tonight. He has scored 2 touchdowns, now 64 yards on 16 carries.
This is where offensive coordinator Wade Lang probably got that offense together and said, listen, if we can put a drive together, you have a chance to win this football game. There's a chance for us to salt the clock away, get in field position, and win the football game. It's all in the offense's hands right now.
Under 6 minutes to play. Trey Rogers at quarterback for Wofford. Gives on the inside, handoff to Johnson to the 40-yard line. Burchett with the tackle for the Eagles. 3rd down and 3.
Southern's opportunity to make a play now defensively. They've seen that Wofford doesn't really like to punt the football. In fact, they haven't punted it all night long. If they force him into a 4th and 4 or 5 situation, you see a punt here. This is the situation facing Southern's defense.
3rd and a long 2. We'll call it 3rd and 3 for Wofford. And out of the gun is Rogers. Now they call a timeout. And that's the second. Their timeout for Wofford. We are tied at 14. 4:55 to play. Back in a moment. Tell them.
2 seconds on the clock, and if he makes it, they win. The kick is up. It's right. There's a football. Another chance to win. It's up.
Where will you watch the bowl games this New Year's? Enter the Corona Beach Chair Quarterback Sweepstakes wherever Corona is sold for your chance to win a trip to watch the New Year's Day football games live from the beach in Cancun, Mexico. Are you a Corona Beach Chair quarterback? Make the Corona call.
I am a husband and a brother. I'm a worker and a boss. I'm the daredevil kid who scared his mother half to death. I'm the dad who worries way too much. When I walk into a bank, I don't expect them to know all this, but I do expect them to ask.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by your Carolina Ford dealers, driving the Carolinas. By BB&T, you can tell we want your business. And by Stedman Hawkins, keeping active people active. Thanks for joining us on Fox Sports Net tonight. A whale of a game from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer with you. 14-14. Cross the line to turn a 3rd and short. Johnson has it at the 44.
About the 10th or 11th play of the game we've seen so far. This has been such a great football game from both teams, back and forth, penalties, mistakes, but making plays by your stars. And Kevius Johnson makes the latest play to extend a drive here for Wofford's offense.
From Fitzgerald, Georgia, Kevius Johnson. 18 first downs for the Terriers. Movement. Penalty flags. And this is done. Breaking a couple of tackles and taking it to the Georgia Southern 41. There was movement that would look like it was going to go against the Eagles. A 15-yard run. But we will let Mr. Lewis Foreman and his crew sort things out.
Defense, offsides. That penalty is refused. First down.
Well, Dunn has come in the game and become a battering ram. He's running this I formation play just straight ahead. Look at the offensive line clear away. Super block right there by 67 Chad Bentley. And watch him take care of the football at the end of the run. I want to turn it over now.
Johnson. A good tackle that time by Burchett. He would not let Johnson get away.
Got him in the vice grips, and you said that Burchett had a super day against these guys last year with 17 hits. He's been right on that again today. Just one of those Southern linebackers that have been all over the football field.
Well, keep an eye on that clock, folks. 3:50 and counting, fourth quarter. Wofford's dream would be to punch it in right as the fourth quarter comes to an end. Johnson. Keep those legs moving. They've got themselves a good-looking young running back here at Wofford. To the 34-yard line.
Big center Brad Anderson came out holding the shoulder, might have had a little stinger there, but these guys just do not want to come out of the game on the offensive side of the ball for Wofford, nor do the Georgia Southern players look as though they're bent over and beat. There's both teams just competing down to the wire.
Just to keep your breath, the Wofford timeout a moment ago was their second of the second half, so they have one remaining. Rogers gives to the motion man Dunn. 30, 26, first down.
This Georgia Southern defense, Bob, has been on the field a lot here in the second half. We don't have the time of possession in the second half, but in front of me right here, but they are really starting to wear down a little bit. It looks as though they're becoming a little tired. The change of direction is beginning to get to them. The little pitch play to the outside. There wasn't the flow from the linebackers that we've seen in the first three quarters of this football game.
A fresh set of downs for the Terriers from the 27-yard line. This is done, and Burchett there to stop him after a gain of just a couple of yards. 2nd and 7.
Really a good job by Burchett there. He had a blocker in front of him. I believe it was Kevius Johnson. Got a hit on him in the hole. He played off the block and made the tackle for a short gain. Wofford nearing the 300 mark on the ground here tonight against the Southern defense that was only allowing 135 on the ground coming into the game.
But keep in mind that McNeese last week had 422 against this Eagle D. Rogers looked at the he's got a man open. It is Johnson, 5, Johnson. Impressive. Wow. This little guy, 5'9", 180. He looked like Jim Brown going into the end zone.
Goodness.
Nick Johnson.
He didn't want the end zone, did he?
Nick Robinson in to kick the point. And it's going to be a bad snap. We're going to run it, and it's going to be out of bounds. No points. Mooring Williams saved the day on what turned out to be a 2-point conversion attempt.
Well, I think it was a bad snap, and they tried to kick the football, and the holder decided he wasn't going to be able to get the kick, so he tried to run. Super play by Mooring.
So that keeps it a 6-point game.
I don't think this was by design. I think it was a bad snap, and now he realizes he's got to try to get in. Super hit by Mooring, which he's done all night long. And does that play come back to haunt you with 1:47 left in the game?
And an injured Eagle on the field. His number is obscured. Figure out the injury in a moment. Another look at this marvelous run by Kevius Johnson.
This is what the run game will do for you. A little play fake, sneak Kevius Johnson out flat, and then he shows his speed. How much does he want it? He wanted it 5 yards worth. He ran 5 yards with a defender on him.
He took Deion Stokes and just pushed him into the end zone.
Shows his speed here to outrun Butler to the 5, and then it's all whether I can get in or you can stop me. And that's 5'9", 180, folks, driving the defensive back into the end zone.
The injured Eagle was Deshaun Jude. Another look at the touchdown. Fabulous run. So, we have a 6-point game with 1:47. Now, the question I think that is to ask here about the Georgia Southern offense is, do you have enough time? This is not a passing attack to move it down the field.
Well, they're going to have to throw it now. They have not been. Wofford stood up and stood the test of time against the run. They've only given up just over 200 yards rushing against this team that averages 320 on the ground. So now Chaz Williams is going to have to try to make a play through the air. One thing it does do is it spreads the field a little bit, and you may see Chaz Williams be able to make some plays scrambling with the ball out of a pass set. We'll see. This is the guy that's dangerous right now for Wofford.
I don't think you can let him touch it, but he's going to. On the return, here comes Lewis Barr from the 3, 10, 15, 20. Barr runs into a little traffic jam and can only get it out to the 28. You talked about the plays, how Wofford's dominated in the second half. Terriers 42 snaps, Georgia Southern 23. The penalty flag has been thrown, and it was thrown at the 50. Boy, if Georgia Southern's got to go backwards, that will make their challenge more difficult.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike on the receiving team. It'll be half the distance to the goal. First down.
You just can't lose your poise. This is a situation where the game is in the balance, and you can't afford to hurt your football team with a 15-yard penalty. I said it before, no player is worth a 15-yard penalty, and now Georgia Southern at their 14-yard line, 86 yards away. We see the end of the run here. Number 13 going after the kicker.
Now Georgia Southern back up on their own 14. And Williams looking to pass. In trouble. Throws it. It is complete out to the 20-yard line.
I really believe Georgia Southern can be dangerous in this situation if they get Chaz Williams in a spread formation where he has ability to use his athleticism to run around and make a play. He did there on the scramble and the throw.
Anderson made the grab. 1:16 to play and counting. Here's Williams coming, throwing, and it is complete out to the 28-yard line. Kevin Davis making the catch, but they're not stopping the clock except to set the chains. Stopped at 109, but that clock's going to crank as soon as it's set for play.
And this is probably something they don't work a lot on, so Chaz Williams is really going to have to manage the clock.
Chaz rolling, throwing to the sideline. No, incomplete pass. Ryan Steele, the strong safety, was right there. Let's take another look. It's going to be second down.
Williams is going to try to get the ball to the outside on a little curl route by his outside receiver. Just a tremendous effort. Wow, I don't know.
Why is that not an interception?
Well, it's like an interception to me. The ball never, his hands are underneath the ball as he hits the ground. That sure looked like an interception to me. But Chaz Williams has new life, has another opportunity to make a play for Georgia Southern.
Well, a long way to go for the Eagles. Chaz wants to throw and does, and complete to the near side. And making the grab, P.J. Cantrell. Now Georgia Southern takes a timeout. Or are they? Yes, they stop it with 47 seconds. Desperately trying to get that clock stop. First burned timeout. They have 2 remaining. The Eagles down 6, 47 seconds to go. Boy, if you're going to dance, you know, the waltz all night, then you go to the disco, it's a little hard to change your footwork.
Well, if you want somebody dancing, Chaz Williams is your guy. I really think that he has a chance to make a play here for Georgia Southern. Now that they've spread the field, they've got 3 receivers in the game, 1 running back, and now with just a 3-man pass rush or a 4-man pass rush, there's going to be some running lanes for number 10 to take off. And with his ability to make plays in the open field, again, all he has to do is move the chains to stop the clock. He has a chance to get him in position to maybe take a shot at this end zone.
And what challenges, Dave, does that present to the Wofford defense? They've been working on the option all night long. Now they've got to change their thinking.
Yeah, they really do. They have to cover up the outside receivers. No big plays behind you. Yet I got to make sure that this guy that's the Southern Conference Player of the Year last year doesn't make a play running the ball.
Chaz running. He's going to throw it back to the near side. It's complete to Teddy Kraft. And Kraft is out of bounds to stop the clock at the 37-yard line. 40 seconds to play.
Had a little throwback screen on that time. Teddy Kraft was the guy on the backside. Albert Turner didn't quite get the corner block, or Teddy Kraft had room down the sideline to do some damage. Credit the Wofford defense for stopping that play.
40 seconds left. First down, Georgia Southern. Williams looking, throwing, and it is going to be complete out to the 50-yard line. Making the grab is Teddy Kraft for Georgia Southern. Clock at 32.9. A 13-yard gain moves the sticks.
This is where he's got to have a play call, so when the referee winds the clock, he can immediately snap it. They don't lose any time.
2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the top of your screen. Austin is the lone setback. Chaz rolling. He's looking. Chaz has to run and slides to the 44. Will they take a timeout? Yes, at 21.3.
Wow, interesting decision by Chaz Williams there to slide when you're an option quarterback and you make so many plays running with the football, to slide down short of the first down instead of putting your head down trying to make a play, maybe get a first down.
Now 1 timeout remaining for the Eagles. 21.3. I know our clock, we're showing you on our Fox box, the stadium clock, and it looks, perhaps if you just, at first glance, it looks like 2 minutes and 13 seconds, but it's actually 21.3 remaining.
Enough time for at least, I would say at least 3 players, or 3 plays. At least 3 plays here with the time. They still have 1 timeout left to go.
Tonight's player of the game, Kevius Johnson. As a presenting sponsor of tonight's telecast, BB&T will donate $500 on behalf of Kevius to the General Scholarship Fund of the Southern Conference. And at the end of the year, the fund will be distributed among the members of the SoCon. That's the touchdown to put Wofford ahead. The 3rd touchdown for Johnson tonight. 2 rushing touchdowns. And this a receiving TD. But boy, he looked like the best running back in the league on that play, as he needed to get the 6, and he did. Now Chaz looks to throw. He's hit as he throws. The pass is overthrown down the sideline.
Good hit on the backside. The rush, Jimmy Freeland coming around the backside. Freeland comes around and makes a nice hit on Williams just as he releases the football. They got Georgia Southern has 1 timeout left. Now my throw is going to be somewhere in that intermediate area. Get me in a position where I can make a throw to the end zone. Still have time for a couple of plays with a timeout in the pocket.
Chaz back to pass. To the sideline. Complete. 8.7 seconds left. It will be 4th down and 4.
5.7 seconds left. You got to go to a trips package to one side of the field and throw it down the field. Anybody that saw the Georgia-Tennessee game earlier today saw that this is a play that can happen. Tennessee got a touchdown right at the end of the half on a Hail Mary throw, and this is the situation Georgia Southern's in right now.
Cantrell to the near side, Irby to the far side. In fact, 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Williams back to pass, goes for broke to the end zone. It is going to be incomplete with 9/10 of a second. Wofford football, and the Terriers are going to do it again. They went to Statesboro and stunned the Eagles last year. And Georgia Southern is going to suffer another defeat at the hands of the Terriers this year in Spartanburg. For the first time since 1997, will the Georgia Southern Eagles lose back-to-back games. And the first time since 97 that a Southern Conference team, it was Appalachian in 96 and 97, that's beaten the Eagles in consecutive years. And Georgia Southern will drop to 1-2 and 0-1 in the league, reminiscent of a year ago. Mike Ayers congratulates the victorious Terriers as they come from behind. Georgia Southern had won 68 straight when leading after 3 quarters. But they could not hold the lead tonight. Our final score from Spartanburg, Wofford 20, Georgia Southern 14. For Dave Archer, this is Bob Rathman. Stay with us. The Southern Sports Report coming up next.
We came in with a 3-way tie for first place in the Pac-10. Washington, Oregon, Washington State, all with records of 5-1. Steven Jackson, we talked about him in the open, the true freshman from Las Vegas, who runs with violence, is what his offensive coordinator Tim Lopano said. And